We are live.
What? You just cut us off like that, bro?
It was done.
Yeah. So let's just get right to it, man. What is wrong with your arm, dude?
Tonight.
New sponsor.
White Claw. White Claw needs to be a sponsor.
By the way, grapefruit is a very unappreciated flavor from White Claw. Grapefruit.
Grapefruit, folks. You heard it here first. But you're enjoying the black cherry tonight, right?
Black cherry, raspberry, and grapefruit.
It's very fruity up there in New York with you tonight.
I've tried them all.
You're looking like you're very relaxed tonight. You have this certain shine and glow about you.
Is that what it is, Eric?
Maybe it's 8 White Claws.
All I know
said
is
8 as in Ocho?
I'm driving around the go-kart after hours, after dark, trying to find my way back to make the live.
You did it. For the folks that don't know or that are just tuning in, he went live on the IG, and actually he was going for ice cream. It was closed, kind of put a little damper on the day, but I said, go back to the house, get a rod, man, to catch a smallie. And what's the fishing report from the dock?
I wasn't sure what was, what's located out in front of the dock, and there was some grass, and then my line got twisted and cut up, and then I pulled the line, and it cut all my tentacles off the tube, and then Eric's making me throw it in the lily pad that's in a foot of water. I mean, it was just a messed up night.
That's making me want to drink. So you were casting, I noticed, and I pointed it out on the Instagram live feed, that you're casting with your left arm.
I think it's because it's reverse image.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure it was, because I didn't change my reels.
For real?
For real.
That's so crazy, man. I swear to God, even though when I was trying to do it in my brain, it looked like you were casting with the wrong arm.
No, dude.
Maybe it just looks like you're always casting with the wrong arm the way you cast. There were a lot of people commenting, man. What is going on? And then you started reeling upside down, which was very, very entertaining, man. That's how they do it in New England. It's true.
Really?
Yes.
Saltwater guys.
They do.
For stripers.
It's a thing up there. You get ridiculed for having the spinning reel down like normal people do if you fish it that way up there, apparently. Let's hear from SmallmouthCrush Bait. Alpha, thank you, man. It reversed it. All right, Mike. Thanks, man. He's fine, man. He was casting proper. It's like I was looking at the old mirror image. So what's the report? You just want to get right into it, man? Tell us about your derby.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Whew. I sucked, man. What do you want me to tell you? I mean,
I think you found the fish. Was it an execution thing? I mean, you were on the bike.
Obviously, you're leading me into something here. You know it was an execution thing. We talked about it.
I know. I'm just saying. I feel like I'm going to have to lead you into a lot of the conversation tonight.
All right, I'll tell you what's up.
All right, go ahead.
And we got a big show ahead of us tonight. But practice went well. You guys may or may not know, Eric came up and joined me for a day or 2 or 3, and we caught him good. Matt from Bass Talk Live, we went perch fishing. I said, hey, I got a spot. I gave him his biggest smallmouth at the time. He did catch one a few more ounces bigger in the tournament.
Right. How about that, man?
I know.
Dude caught like 3 6-pounders in a matter of 4 days or something crazy.
I know. No, he was up there for like 22 days, but whatever.
22.
Give or take a day or two.
A week or two.
So a couple interesting things. So I was feeling very good, but I know how these lake fish operate, meaning they could be there and they could not be there. One day you go to an area and they're there. One day they're not. And so I have a lot of areas. Like my mind is loaded up with places. And to be honest, I probably don't even have to actually physically go out there and practice. You should just run spots, you know. But I kind of wanted to get an idea. Now, there's a couple key areas I never even hit during this tournament that I thought I would be fishing. If you talked to me 6 months ago, I'd be like, yeah, I'm definitely going to be fishing these areas. And I never even had an opportunity to check them because we had some pretty big wind during practice. And so that kind of kept me inshore more than offshore for leading up to this event, which is fine. But I thought I had a pretty good game plan. And I went to my first area in the morning, and they were I was worried I wasn't going to, because I was like boat 131. And I assumed somebody else is going to be here. But they weren't. It was crazy. Wow. Like there wasn't a single boat around. And I got super excited. And first of all, I drew Mike. Mike is a co-angler Mike. You might have seen him on the Oneida Lake video. He started hanging out with Gary mid-season and came up with Gary on Lake Oneida. And then he came up for the St. Lawrence event here. And I actually drew him as a co-angler on day one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, awesome guy, super funny. He was doing a little video, you know, throughout the day, like an update every 10 minutes, it seemed. And so he's going to send me those footages and maybe I can work it into the videos moving forward for the tournament. But he was great. It was awesome. And so
did he catch him?
He did not. No.
Okay.
But I fished my first area, nothing. Well, they were there. Okay. They just weren't biting that well. There was 3 or 4 of them hanging around, but I could not get them to bite. And so I ran, you know, remember where we like got on them hardcore inside that point?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, I wasn't even like the whole day I was so calm because I felt so comfortable fishing here that I wasn't nervous, worried, nothing. And that was awesome. A really cool feeling.
That's unusual for you.
Yeah, dude. It's
you
like
I almost Zen moment.
It's like I didn't even care. So I'm like, I'll just slide over here where Eric and I busted them up 2 weeks ago. I haven't been here since, but I'm sure they're here. I get close to the spot, and all of a sudden, the graph lights up.
Wow.
I go to Mike. I'm like, it's time, bro. Yeah. It's time. Yeah. Start pitching these. They ain't biting. They're hovering. They're doing their sheephead thing. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh! Like suspended.
Hundreds of sheephead moved in.
Oh, we saw that movie. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
It was sad, dude.
I know.
Hundreds of sheephead moved in, and I felt at that point I was like, man, I had a long day. I didn't have to be until 4:40.
Wow.
I'm like, shit, we're good. You know, it's 9:30.
You're not worried yet.
I go to a big rock I got. Corey Johnson did well in that zone during the Messina event.
Yep.
Okay. I pull up to the rock, ain't a fish on it. Okay. Now I'm making further runs, you know. It's taking me a little while to get to these spots, and I still don't have a decent fish. I'm throwing back 3-pounders, right?
Right.
And so I pull up to another spot, and Corey Johnson's like 100 yards from me.
What?
JP and I busted him up there 2 days prior. Okay. And JP, who did not do well in this event, told me, if you don't see me here, I cracked him and I'm heading back. You know what I mean? Or I'm practicing.
Sure.
I didn't see him there, so I assumed he cracked him. Corey Johnson was sitting on the exact same spot where we busted him up 2 days prior.
No.
And I'm like, well, either JP caught him or whatever. And I couldn't get on the exact spot. So I went to that spot we wrecked him on, Eric, if you remember, near that city.
Yeah.
And I live scoped it, and they weren't really on it. But I saw one. I go to Mike, there's a big bitch. I'm going to catch him. Flip down to him. Boom, there it is. My first 4 3/4, right?
Nice. Good start.
Good. Yeah, still. And while I'm playing him, he's going crazy. I still, in my mind, I was cool. Scooped him up, put him in the live well. I go to him. It's time to make the epic run. Winds weren't too bad, but there were some residuals. I go, we're going to make this happen today. So I start heading to the epic run. But first, I'm like, shit, I should fizz that fish. So I stop. I try to get him out of the live well. He doesn't want nothing to do with me. Time's running out. I'm like, and he's not really upright. I'm like, screw that fish then. He could suck a D. I'm going. So I said, screw it. And we started heading out there, and I get about 10 minutes into the run. And I'm like, not heading out there. We were getting like slam, like hard.
Yeah.
And I had a good 40 minutes of this ahead of me. And I'm like, no, not going to happen. Well, needless to say, if you watch the live on Saturday, that's the spot Corey Johnson was wrecking them on every cast.
Mm.
And I knew those fish were there, but I also knew that on day 2 or 2 days before the tournament, they were not there. And I remember taking you to that spot, Eric, and they were not there.
Yeah.
But the very next day they were. And so I had a little bit of, it wasn't like I was certain they would be there or not. So in my mind, it wasn't worth making that run out to that area.
Sure.
So I head back, and I'm approaching JP's zone, right, where he's been winning some tournaments, okay? And I get up in that zone, and I see a couple fish up shallow. I pitch to one. He bites. It's about a 4.5 pounder on a Ned rig, and I lose him.
Oh.
Still, it's 10:30, 11. I'm like, I'm still cool. Did not make a sound. Did not get mad. None of that. Then I see 2 giants. Well, one giant and one little guy. And I pitch over to it, and the little guy bites. So now I got like a 3 1/4, and I stick him in the well. I'm like, well, it's getting to be that time of the day here where I need to get some fish in the live well. So I put a 3 1/4 in the live well. And I saw about 6 fish up shallow, and I couldn't get them to bite, or they were spooky. So I run back into the river.
You mean live scope? You're seeing them, or you're seeing them like visually? Wow.
Visually seeing them. I run back into the river in a spot where I crushed them the day before for about an hour and a half until my Lawrence Go shut off on me the day before the tournament.
Oh, no.
The pedal got stuck. There was something inside the pedal is what we're thinking. JP was able to fix me up that night, and I was back. I was ready to go for the tournament. So, but I was worried. So I get to this spot, and I take my football head from Beast Coast, which is an amazing football head. I don't lose fish on it because the day before I was catching them in practice on it good.
Yeah.
I'm dragging that thing in 30 feet of water. The wind's picking up, and I'm really dragging that thing out there. 70 yards out, right?
Wow.
I get a bite. Prosnick's like 50 yards from me. And little did I know Tom Nee was like 50 yards from me as well.
How about that?
And so Tom sees this whole thing go down, and Prosnick sees it too, because I did get a little emotional on that fish loss. So I hook up. He's almost to the boat.
Hey. Be quiet. Put that rod down. Keep it low. Don't make a scene, if you know what I mean. I guess that doesn't apply to derby fishing.
Nah. I needed that fish, dude. He comes off at the boat, and I freak out. I freak out, but I'm still cool because, dude, it's like noon, and I got 4 hours of fishing.
Okay.
So I finally get another bite. I get him in the boat. It's another 4.5. So now I got 3 good ones.
Yeah.
A small one. Then I catch another small 3.25. Anyways, long story short, I lose another 6-pounder. He jumps. Co-angler Mike's like, holy shit, that's huge. I'm like, yes, it is. He jumps 3 or 4 times, and he gets off right at the boat again.
How far from the boat?
15 feet, 10 to 15, because I was ready to go. I had my rod up, and he made one more pull and just kept going.
Damn.
Didn't
break the line.
No.
Pulled the hook?
Pulled the hook.
Damn.
After 3 or 4 big mega jumps. So.
That's smallie fishing, I guess.
Now I got a 6 gone, a 5 gone, a 4.5 gone, and then that 4 on the Ned rig, 4.25 on the Ned rig. I catch another good one. So now I got 3 studs in my live well, and I got 2 3.25. And time ran out on me, bro.
What'd you weigh in?
I head back to just over 20 pounds. I'm in 40th place, right?
What'd you lose?
26 pounds, 27.
When you look back, is there anything you would have changed to have a different result?
I'm going to be straight up with you, Eric. I normally do not drag a football head on the St. Lawrence River. This was something that was a little unique to me, and so I was using a medium-sized bait caster, medium rod, with 12-pound gamma.
7 foot, 7'6". How long rod?
7 foot Legend Extreme medium.
Okay.
And I lost those giants on it. Now, I was talking to Derek from Beast Coast about this, and he goes, dude, it was just a freak thing. Like, it happens. And I think that's what happened, because the day before in practice with a football head, I landed and I caught some good 5+ pounders doing that in that same zone. And so,
I mean, tough to say, like, if you're practicing.
The ones I did catch, I caught them dragging a football on 10-pound braid to a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader.
So less stretch.
Spinning rod.
But doesn't matter. Less stretch.
Yes.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is the hook didn't get good penetration, or where you hooked them, the jig out of the mouth, and it's flopping around.
I did catch one. One of those 4s had the jig pinned on the bottom of his lips, like on the outside of his mouth underneath him.
Oh, that's wild. Like,
so maybe they're going up there and slamming on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and keep in mind, we got big waves and a lot of line out.
Yeah. I think that's probably part of it. You got to pick up a lot of line when you're dragging. You said 70 yards behind the boat?
Man, it was out there when that big one jumped.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got a lot of line to pick up. So you got to go to longer rod or heavy up on your rod, because you got 12-pound fluoro, which is going to have stretch, big waves. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but you're trying to pick up a lot, and it's in what, 15, 20, 30 foot of water?
Yeah, I wanted to. I have my.
I mean, that's a lot of line.
Yes.
When you're sweep setting with 3-footers, I don't know, man. I don't drag a football jig, so don't ask me. But something's gotta change. That's a lot of line to pick up to really get a good sweep set. If they're swimming towards you, who knows? I mean, I don't know which way are they going.
So what I did was, from here on out, I'm going to have some time to experiment before the summer's over, the fall, whatever you want to call it. I went with a medium heavy extreme, 17-pound fluoro, and I'm going to give that a little try and see, you know.
I wonder, I don't know, are smallmouth line shy when you're dragging a football jig in that deep of water? Typically, I know people size down when they're dragging a football jig, even for largemouth, right? It's deeper water. You want the jig to get down. I don't know. I don't drag a football jig a ton, so I'm no expert. I'm just trying to think through the technical aspect of it and how much line you're trying to pick up with that. It's way the fuck out there.
Yeah, well, I have one on
And
a
it's
medium.
deep.
I have one with 17 fluoro on medium heavy, and I have medium heavy braid with a fluoro
Yeah.
leader.
Okay. I mean, did day 2 yield any results? Did you make technical adjustments? Because you had a much better day, day 2, right?
Yeah, and a couple people are asking. I was using a half ounce, that half ounce open water sniper jig from Beast Coast.
Yeah.
So day 2, I know I'm in trouble. I'm in 40th. I knew my fish weren't in my areas. So day 2, I'm out there, and I realize we had a strong north wind. So I didn't know where Gary was fishing, and I didn't know where he was, which is weird. He's part of my team. You'd think I would have known, but I don't. That's
Because what place was he in day 1? Like top 10. I know that. I'm like something.
So I pull up in the same stretch Gary's fishing on day 2, and it's a community hole. And I just thought, well, it's close to where I'm catching them. I'll just start here. Well, I realized those guys were in there, and I didn't stick around too long. I just bolted, right?
Yep.
But we had a strong north wind, and I wasn't able to effectively drift my jig properly in my second day, in my first stop there where I wanted to fish. And so I caught a 4.5 pretty quick, and then I stayed there for a good hour and a half, 2 hours without a bite. Damn. And so now I'm like, and I got a short day on day 2. I'm like, this ain't happening. I'm out. So I go back to where I started on day 1. Nothing. I go to our sheephead spot, we're going to call it.
Yeah, good.
I saw one on the graph that looked like a smallmouth, and I pitched to it, and I caught him. And it was like 4.5. And so that kept me in the sheephead zone, pitching the sheephead for the next hour without another smallmouth.
Right. Did you go to Old McDonald's Farm or the Fried Egg or the Lost City of Atlantis?
I did not go to those 3 places.
I named all these places, by the way. I thought they were clever. Anyway.
I know.
Dang.
Anyways,
okay, cool.
So I go. So what did I do then? God, it's such a blur.
I bet.
I go there. I go a couple other spots. Nothing. Okay, I go back to the river. I go, dude, you're Travis Manson. You own Lake Ontario. You know what's up. Get your ass back to where the big fish live and catch them. Okay?
Yeah. Hells to the yeah.
I go back to that jig spot, and I still can't catch them. Now it's like 11. And I got 2 big ones in the live well. And I do have a limit now. I'm putting some 3-pounders in there, okay?
All right. Yeah. You're coming in with a limit no matter what.
Well, I'm like, maybe I can get paid today, you know?
Sure.
So then I pick up a swim bait, and I go shallow.
Are we talking like with the Okashira screwhead? We talking a swim bait with the
Yeah. Doing my thing.
Yeah. With the Hasdong shad, or you going spark shad?
Spark.
Oh man. They ate it up at pond. A private pond up here gave my builder of my lake house Okashira screwhead. Dude, they ate it so freaking hard. It was crazy. Like they'd never seen it. And they'd never seen it, believe me. Anyway, go ahead.
So I get up there, and my first cast, I pop like a 5-pounder. So now that kept
now, when you say shallow, tell me shallow in
4 to 6 feet of water.
Well, that is shallow.
And then I catch a couple 3.5s. I'm slowly calling up, but I know I got 3 giants in the live well. Okay.
It wouldn't be in front of that city we fished in front of where we got rained on hard. Southern end of the lake.
No.
Okay.
No. So now I'm like, Now I'm on the swim bait game a little bit, but I don't catch another one in there. So now my mind's like, dude, you got 2 hours. You better make some adjustments, okay? And I'm like, you got 3 different options in this area. Which option are you going to pick? And I'm like, oh, I'll go back up here and start. So I go back up there, nothing. Now time's running out. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go where I really wanted to go for the first time here. So I head up there, and I asked my spirit guides for 1 fish. You know what I mean? I'm like, I need 1 fish, guys. Come on, hook me up. And within 30 seconds of asking for that 5-pounder, it bites.
Nice.
But now I'm freaking out, dude, because it's jumping and it's fighting and it's digging. And I'm just like, dude, you've been here 100 times. Just let it go. Let it do its thing.
Let the rod do the work.
Let the rod do its work, man. Fish comes up, scoop them in. Now I'm like, bro's getting paid, but now bro's got to make it to the top 10. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I got 4 good ones now, and I got 10 minutes to go. And I'm drifting down the zone, and I actually have a video clip I might play. Play it because
hell yeah.
Because I'm not super, and I haven't seen it yet, and hopefully there's no bad parts of this here that I'm gonna play if I can find it. But I said to myself, again, I go, yo, universe, I need that next fish here soon. Like, I got 10 minutes, give me that fish. I demanded that fish, right, Eric? I'm seriously talking to myself. I swear to God, I am saying to the universe, I need this fish. This is very important to me. Make it bite.
That's awesome.
I see him on my live scope.
Wow.
And it's the one.
How
it's
deep?
5.5 pounds.
How deep is this fish?
Man, it's on 15 feet. I'm gonna let me pull it up right now for you guys.
You dragging the football jig, or you dragging a net, or drop shot?
This was on a Ned.
And
I'm going to try and oh shit, I don't have the clips. No, I don't.
What?
I could get it in a little bit. I'll work on it. We'll play that last fish. We'll play that clip at the end here.
Okay,
but
you got to though.
What happened was I saw it on the live scope, and it was in an area where normally they're either there or they're not. They're either thick or they're not there.
Yeah.
But this was one individual fish that I saw. I threw my net out to him. It was suspended. It was about 5 feet off the bottom.
What?
And I pitched that Ned rig to it. I watched them go down the Ned rig, and then I kind of was like, all right, this is either going to be a giant or it's going to be one of those little 3-pounders. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
right.
The rod loaded up. I set the hook, and I felt some serious weight down below. And I played it again. I'm like, do not lose this fish. Make sure you do everything right. I had to move the trolling motor a lot. I was moving around the boat, chased him around a couple times, dude. I got him up and grabbed him, got him in the boat, and I'm like shaking at this point. Because now I'm like, and I don't know what weight I have, but I'm thinking I got to have close to 25 pounds is what I thought.
Yeah, right.
I had just under.
And you thought you needed 25 and change, right?
I thought 25 because of my mess up on day one would get me in the top 10. So now I was going to leave at 245 and it's 240. And I start heading back to the ramp. And I'm pretty happy. I mean, I saw the call. It was a big deal, right? All of a sudden, my motor starts shaking violently.
What?
Yeah. Just going. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God, man.
I'm like, and here's what happened, Eric. When I was leaving, I instantly knew I wasn't going to make it back. Like, something told me, shit's going to go on this ride back, Travis. Be prepared.
Holy shit.
Like, I already knew something was going to happen. And it did. It went fine for about the first 10 minutes into my ride back. And all of a sudden, my motor started shaking violently. And I wish I remember his name. I feel bad. I know the guy. The guy that makes the lure wraps. those stickers you can put on jerk baits and stuff, I believe.
Okay.
And I feel bad for not remembering his name, but it's not coming to me right now. Anyways, we talked. I didn't know it was him at the time, but I see a boat 300 yards from me, kind of going about the same speed. So I start veering towards him with my hat up in the air, going like this for 4 miles. And I finally get up to him, and he's thinking that I caught him good or something. I'm coming up like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, no, I'm pointing back to the motor, and he's thinking I'm pointing to his motor. So now he's looking back at his motor. I get closer to him, and I just stop. I go, dude. I flag him in. He's like, what's up? I go, I got motor issues, dude. What time you got to be in? He's like, 3:20. I'm like, me too. He's like, well, put your fish in the boat. Let's go. I'm like, well, no, I can still go, dude. Let's see if I can make it back, right? Can you follow me?
Yeah.
And he's like, yes, let's do that. So I'm going along, and my motor's still shaking like crazy, dude. And
the big engine.
For the next half hour, it's nothing but hoping with my fingers crossed that I can get back to the weigh-in.
That it doesn't fall off.
And it doesn't. It was shaking so bad, dude.
How fast were you going?
Like 40 to 50. I could go fast.
No engine alarm at all. So you think it's loose from the motor mounts or the jack plate?
I thought maybe I flung a blade or something on my prop.
You spun the hub, or maybe you lost an ear. Maybe you got 3 blades instead of 4.
All I know is I need to get back, and that I have a guy next to me that if I have to jump in his boat, we still got 20 minutes. Although the insurance claim, once they find my boat washed up on rocks somewhere, is going to be, a washout from what I win. I still want to make it back. Okay. So I get up. I get about a half a mile from the ramp. The dude's like, you okay? Because we still had 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. He took off, went fishing. And then I kind of just stopped, filled up the live wells, made sure I was okay, and just took my time getting back into the ramp. And weighed my fish and had just over 24 pounds and missed the top 10 by a little bit. So that's long story short. That was my day, man. It was
that's crazy.
It was a grind. It was nothing like you saw those guys on live busting up fish after fish. I just was not around those types of fish. I had to really make some serious, all my 5 big fish on day 2 came from random stuff that I never would have dreamed of fishing during the tournament.
Wow. It's crazy how much those smallmouth move, man. What makes them move like that? I mean, I know they're kind of pelagic in nature and they roam a lot. Is it that they like move in, eat all the gobies they can, and there's more left?
I do know you need 30 to 40 spots in an area that you have confidence in, and that's exactly what the Johnsons have. I mean, they're lifting their trolling motor up and out of the water 70 to 80 times a day in most cases, to find those fish. But once you do,
people ask what made them so good. I mean, it's just that they grew up there, right? I mean, their dad took them fishing all the time. They've got a lot of big, car-sized rocks marked, I'm sure, and other rock
they just know how to effectively maneuver around the lake and locate fish. I mean, they
understand wind too. I'm sure that's part of the game, right? I mean, you got to understand wind, and then how it's going to affect fish movements, and smallmouth. I think they like current, right? Because that's going to bring food to them, right? So you got to understand if you got a northeast wind, southwest wind. I mean, it's a million different variables, right? Where can you run to not get shit kicked out of you?
Yeah, I do know my feeling on day 1 when I lost all those fish. I still felt like I had a shot the rest of the day up until the end, because I really thought I was dialed in.
Right.
And I was around some giant fish, but it wasn't like I was getting a bite every 10 minutes. And so I think that's why when I lost those fish, I didn't spin out completely, but it certainly affected me a little bit. And then of course, coming in, realizing I, came in with a lousy 20 pounds and was pretty far. Well, it wasn't far back. I mean, like I said, we talked that night, Eric, and I said,
I mean, you didn't think you'd be in 40th place. I mean, no way.
No,
right?
I didn't think so. But I knew I needed 25 to make up for my stupid mistakes,
Right.
And
Right. What ended up being the motor problem? Because a lot of people are asking, man.
so all it was, so I went to the service yard. As soon as I got off the water, I went straight there because I was still in like 6th place at the time. And I'm like, I have a shot, maybe. I was middle of the pack weighing in. And so I went there to get things squared away. And they said it was, as soon as I said it started shaking at 30 miles an hour, he said something about the trim issue, a trim thing. So he put a new trim thing in the motor.
Okay.
And, works now. So
it's nice to have those guys in the service
man.
yard, man. Dang.
And he didn't have to do that. Normally they, on the last day, if you're not in the top 10, they're sending you your dealer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, my one experience with the service techs, let's see, they figured out it was the master power switch because I fished without electronics with Jack Rinkers in the national championship down on the Harris Chain Lake in Florida. My screens were flickering. So basically, and then my boat wouldn't start. So I had a power issue, electronic issues, and I could go no faster than 40 miles an hour.
Crazy.
And then, so they fixed it all, but then they didn't bolt the master power switch on right. So day 2, same situation. Had to fish with the motor running for most of the day and still managed 37th place. We were 16th after day 1, but with no boat issues and actually electronics to see the marks that we found in practice. Had all these underwater hydrilla and milfoil points marked, and that's where the better fish were. But no eyes, it's tough to see what you find. So we still managed to have a hell of a derb.
Yes.
So,
well, listen, we're going to we'll talk a little bit more about the opens here after our next guest comes on.
Well, how about Gary Atkins, man?
Yeah,
shout out to your teammate, man. Give him some props, bro. He was on TV.
Top 10.
Didn't he end up coming in 6th or something?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he got it.
Got to get him on to see how he did it, man. You got to get him on one of the shows, man. Give him props. Yeah.
Before we go back on all of that mess for us that week, let's bring our next guest on. He's patiently waiting down there. It's been a while.
Oh,
dude.
What's going on, guys?
Man. Hey, guess what I did today? I went in the river. I went in the river fun fishing. I don't know if you recognize this weird color little deal here. There it is. Bro.
Tell me the truth.
The truth is I caught 5 fish. I didn't have a lot of time with it, but I had about 18 pounds on that top water in the river, which is pretty cool. Shallow. Smallies. I was in about 5 to 8 feet of water.
So much fun.
And I noticed there was a lot of bugs around, almost like there is tonight. But there's some type of hatch going on, and every once in a while I could see some swirls. And to be honest with you, I was out. My sister's in town. We were a bunch of us were on the boat, kids and stuff, and we're just messing around. And I'm like, shit, I'm gonna give that. I got to try to catch them on top water here, which I don't do too often. And we caught them, dude. So props out to Monster Bass.
Nice, man. Got to think pink, man. That's my love the pink, bro.
Right on.
I know I got a bunch of different ones here. You guys just sent me a bunch. Special delivered to New York, dude. Couple cool colors. The perch, I think that's what you call it. Feeder gill, same thing, right? Of course, bone.
Bone home, bro. ET, dude, bone home. Let's go.
Sexy Cracks is my favorite color. That's something I could see myself using.
Dynamite.
But that thing does catch them, dude.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting about this, and we didn't announce it until today. So 2 years ago, we took the very first version of this bait and we put it in a box. And then I surveyed everybody. And all it was product feedback. And then, so we got product feedback from about 5,000 survey responders. And we took that feedback and gave it to the factory that worked with us on this, and took all the feedback that they provided and then modified it so that what you see today is a result of what happened the first time around. Like, I'm not a bait designer, right? So I literally went to the factory the first time around, said, give me a popper. They gave me like 10 different poppers. We threw them in the pool. I threw some to Alex Rudd. I threw some to a few people. Which one did we like? Which one, how did it sit? How did it, what was the action? We took the one that we liked and we put it in the box 2 years ago. And then we literally put together the biggest product testing program we could come up with. And we gave them they changed everything from the hooks to the to the rattles that were in it, to the shape of the mouth. It's pretty cool the way that we did it. And we were doing that because we wanted to showcase that we could actually do something like this, because what you're going to see in 2022 is there are some pretty good, well-known brands that are going to actually do the same damn thing. They're going to take a blank and put it in a plastic bag with a card and a QR code. They're going to ship it out, and they're going to get as much product feedback as they can before it comes to market. And so it was actually kind of cool to bring something to life and do that with the help of like every one of our subscribers.
That's pretty cool.
It's a pretty solid popper. I mean, it walks really nice. It spits a lot of water. It's pretty solid.
Nice, man. I'm from Western Maryland. I don't have my box yet because I got to go back home, and I'll check it out. It's getting to be that time of year, man.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Rick,
well, it is right now.
How's the tungsten stock on your end?
I got a ton of it. I got everything.
Good.
Drop shots, worm weights,
because
you name it.
I just got a bunch of these sent in as well. And I made a video about these weights in the past, but here's what I really appreciate about it. Not only are they one of the most, I guess, affordable tungsten weights out there. Yeah. If anyone needs tungsten weights, before you buy from anyone, you need to check out Monster Bass. And I mean, your prices are phenomenal. Not only that, but every tungsten weight has the actual weight listed on themselves. I can normally tell, but sometimes, a 360
I can't.
order, you know what I mean? When you get a
No
bunch
way,
of them
man.
in there, you're kind of wondering.
Especially if you use different brands, and everybody that I know has different brands of tungsten and the different shapes, from Reigns to freaking True Tungsten, all the different companies, they're different shapes and sizes. It is really tough to match up. So, man, I love the labeling too. I have to say bravo to that.
I mean, I feel like tungsten's like the biggest. I mean, I don't know. It feels like such a scam. Like, I get that it's expensive, but it's all exactly the same. As long as you get it insert free and, it's all no chip. I mean, why has it got to be so expensive?
Right.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Agreed, no, man.
Totally. No, I'm glad to see that you do have those back in stock. I know a lot of anything, terminal tackle, weights, hooks, baits, it's hard to come by right now, unfortunately. I'm hoping that changes soon. What are you hearing in the industry?
I don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think, and the problem is you've got companies that are going out of business left and right, because it used to cost you about $4,000 to $5,000 to ship a container across the ocean. Now you're looking at like $22,000 to $25,000. I mean,
holy shit.
And you think about trying to schedule it and get it across, right? The rise in excise tax, the shipping, the lack of containers. Everybody's having conversations about just jacking the prices up, because at some point it just becomes, you just start losing money. So I think you're crazy, man. You're going to see prices go up across the board everywhere.
Wow. That's a monster increase in shipping.
Yeah.
And there's a lack of containers too. I didn't know that.
Totally.
That's every industry. That's not just fishing. That's every industry.
Right. It's everywhere.
And the excise taxes have gone up too, right?
Excise tax has gone up. And then, of course, once it gets to port, because there's so many shipping containers, now you can't. It takes you 2-3 weeks to get it onto a truck to get it back to your facility.
Because all those ports are backed up, right? I mean, everything in the supply chain has been disrupted, man. Everything. I know, like guys that pour plastic, it's hard to get plastic for those big manufacturers. Man, they're down too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, it makes me, we've been having conversations with a company here to see if there's any way possible to make hard baits in the States, because I would, obviously if I could make them in the States, I totally would. But, everyone that you talk to about trying to make them, the cost is 3 to 4 times what it is elsewhere.
Wow.
And unfortunately, it's really hard to justify doing it here, because will the average guy pay the extra money because it's here in the United States? Everyone will tell you yes, but the reality is, are they going to do it? Right?
No, they talk a big game, but it's not. I don't think so.
Dang.
Craig.
Yeah. Crazy.
Sobering.
So
how you doing, SmallmouthCrush up there? How you doing, man? You hanging in there? You looking tired,
I'm fine,
man.
dude. I'm not tired. I'm just, dude, I'm worried. I'm trying to plan ahead now.
What are you trying to plan for? Let's talk about it.
Just everything, even for next year. Purchasing a new boat, getting motors, getting electronics, getting baits, getting. I feel like I'm really dialed in this year on baits and techniques that work, and I feel like I found a bunch of new techniques that I love that I need to incorporate more for next year. And I'm already looking ahead, and we'll be preparing for what I'm going to need for 2022 based on these shortages. I mean, I don't want to be stuck in that situation. I mean, I'm still looking for some more Shimano Vanfords, Eric.
Wow. They're still behind, huh?
They're still behind.
Unbelievable.
Everybody's behind.
everybody's behind.
And so it's I'm not saying that, this year I feel like I'm good with my supply. Like, I don't feel like I was behind too much on product. I got into the Berkeley Max Scent craze a little bit, only because a lot of the guys I talked to are catching fish on it, because that's the only bait that they use. You know what I mean?
Is it hype?
I think it's a combination of everything. I catch most of my smallmouth on something totally different than a Max Scent, than a flatworm,
which is called a Gajo spear chat.
Right. But I have seen them work. And so, I was that guy 2 weeks ago on eBay spending $25 for a bag of flatworms just in case.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's nuts, man. Isn't it nuts? It is crazy, but yeah. I mean, it's wild, man. It can be manic.
Mm-hmm.
The fear factor, FOMO, man, it's powerful.
Yeah, it's funny. Fishing the 262 just made this really, interesting comment. People pay stupid money for JDM, but not American domestic product.
Great point. Great point, man. People don't have a problem dropping that big money. Think about Lucky Craft.
Right.
The 1.5, I mean, arguably the best, square bill ever made. But, at the time, I mean, why, it's food for thought. Truly.
So
they certainly are more beautiful baits. That's a fact, Jack.
True.
Not the sexiest out there, man. Their finishes, their fit, design, they've got an aesthetic that's just, I don't know.
So what's
I remember back in the day when I was looking at my first car, I'm looking at Toyotas and I'm looking at, GM cars, and I'm going, I want that badass car, interior design, ergonomics. I mean, they just were ahead. And we taught them how to do Deming, right? We sent Deming over there, and quality. I mean, back in the day, I can't say that now about American cars, but they hooked me. I'm brand loyal now, Toyota. Sorry, everybody.
I was looking to get a new Toyota, Eric, but they can't.
Because when I turn the key back in the day and push the button now to start it, it does it. And I don't have problems. They're just things don't go wrong on that 4Runner, man. I've had this my third, and it's just bulletproof.
My check engine lights.
Knock on wood.
This morning.
Go ahead now. What'd you do?
My check engine lights back on the Ford. We'll bring that in the shop next week, and there'll be another $800 to get some sensor replaced.
See, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Well, why?
Because that's how it's designed. To break so you can go spend money at the dealerships.
Garbage.
Yeah, but you're not going to buy another Ford then, right?
Exactly.
Probably not. And that's what I'd like to tell them. I like to tell these guys when I go in there next week, you guys keep charging me $800,000-$900,000 to do this and that every other month. I'm like, you really think I'm going to buy another Ford? Probably not. And nothing against. Listen, I love the Ford. When it's working, it's great. It's fun.
Sure.
But I can't keep doing this.
Can you imagine if you had a cell phone like that? It's not working today. I got to go take it for repair. You throw it in the lake. It'd be done. Reliability, man.
That's the truth.
That is.
You want that thing
So what's
to
the
work.
update with
Same thing
Legendary
with boats.
Lakes?
Yeah, Eric, what's the update, man? You want
Travis,
it?
it's really on you, man. But
I
yeah,
know it
I'm
is.
ready to do the proposal.
Uh,
We're in the creation of the proposal phase in order to approach sponsors and do the big ask for what we need from the title sponsor, and then premier sponsors level 1. We're working on the levels of sponsorship, and then approaching those sponsors with the ask, because at some point you have to raise money to do this for Travis's purposes mostly.
mhm.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get
That's
there.
where we are.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna work
Travis,
hard on it.
it's really, you're on vacation now, and you were fishing for 2 weeks prior to that. So I've been waiting for 3 weeks I'm ready.
When I get home next week, okay, first of all, I got to order my new boat.
I heard
next
that 2
week.
weeks ago. See, there'll always be something in front of this project, and that's okay. I want to tell everybody publicly what's up. Let's be
I have
transparent.
to edit all my videos from the past 2 weeks. I have to make
You
some
go,
new
man.
videos. Okay.
And you have to do a lot of cleaning. Just live dirty for a week, man, and let's get this freaking thing done.
Okay.
Exactly.
I will.
All right, good. Make a commitment. So
We're getting there,
open
Rick.
your
We're getting
calendar
there.
right now, and when can you fit me in? Make a commitment today,
Next week.
right now, online. No, next week's not a commitment. What day next week? What time next week? And when are we talking? We're going to hammer it out.
Next week, Tuesday afternoon, we'll talk.
Tuesday afternoon, what time? Is 2 or 4 better for you, Travis?
3 o'clock.
Wow. This
3
is
is good. Okay, 3 o'clock. You heard it, folks. Tuesday, 3 p.m. The last time I set the appointment with Travis goes, well, you didn't call me. I go, dude, it was your schedule. You set the time. You call me. I'm not your assistant. It's on you. You will call me next Tuesday at 3 p.m. I'm going to get my old-fashioned day timer and write it in pencil, because that's how I am. I'm a visualizer.
We have to get
Watch
this
me
done
do it.
because
Watch me
here's
do
the
it.
thing,
Put it
Eric.
in your phone right now. Time out. We're going to take a commercial break right now, and you're going to put in your calendar, because do you use a calendar on your phone or what?
I do, and it's in.
Do it right now. Go black. Go dark. Do it.
coffees for closers.
Damn right, man. Glenn Ross, you never watched that movie, bro. Did you? Shit. You don't know nothing about it. You can't close nothing.
Eric.
You can close the tournament out, but you can't close the sale, bro. Let's go.
Gotcha.
Next Tuesday. What day is that, Travis?
I don't know. Eric, I'm not going to pull my phone up again.
Take a fucking ink pen and write it on your hand. Legendary Lakes. All right, man.
Oh, man.
We will have a proposal done, first draft, by Wednesday morning.
There you go.
Great. Rick, I love your feedback on that, by the way, since Travis is reluctant to talk to you about it. I would love to present it to you. So, Travis, basically, you're out. I'll take the lead. You don't control the relationship anymore. I'm talking to Rick direct. I'll let you know how it goes. If you'd like to be on the phone with me to present, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah, and we will be rehearsing before we present to Rick, because that's what you do in a professional business environment.
And I understand
we got to be on the same page.
I understand that time is against us, obviously, because we do want to have a pretty good showing for this Legendary Lakes. We are doing it.
Hell yeah.
That involves a new boat, that involves a truck sponsor, that involves everything. So we're trying to get all that done. Totally wrapped vehicle. Now, I was always anti-wrap truck and boat guy unless you're at the highest level, because they make you on the Elite Series in the MLF. However, I think it would get us very good exposure. The downside is I don't like people seeing where I'm at on the lake. That's why I never liked the wrap boat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know I'm over there.
Sure.
And so that'll be a little.
All right. Well, here's the alternative. We'll look at the budget. We'll see if we can afford those lower level items. But the first order of business is expenses to get there, video, promotion. True. So on the order, so we could just put a nice big ass sticker somewhere. I've got the design. The art's already done, man. We just print it up and slap it on that goddamn boat and go right over the motor. It won't be Mercury anymore. You'll be running a Legendary Lakes Tour freaking motor right on the side.
Love it.
That's the low-cost version of Legendary Lakes. We will make it happen. Exactly. Yes. You could dream big. I like it. Don't get me wrong, man. I like it.
But I
I'd
think
like
the
to see an
scheduling,
RV tone that thing.
the scheduling we do have down, that's going to be perfect. We're going to start out in really, for us, it's going to be wintertime up north, but we're going to be starting south doing a bunch of stuff. And we'll actually wrap this up in May, which will still allow me to guide most of the time on the Chesapeake, as well as probably compete in some major tournaments for 2022 as well. So I think timing and the schedule is going to be perfect for that.
Yep, we got, if you guys want to hear about it, so this is the tentative schedule. I flipped right to it. I'm prepared. How about you, man?
I have it down.
I thought yeah, maybe you do.
Okay.
I do. Okay. So 118, that's January 18th through 19th, 2022, or the 20th, the Big O.
Why? Because there should be a full moon around that week.
Boom. That's right.
And we're
so there
probably
may be
going to try to get one, if not both, Scott or Roland Martin on that show.
That'd be huge. And then we're going to go to an emerging legendary lake, either the headwaters and or that's Kenansville. Kenansville's the jungle. The headwaters is new, Jurassic Park. So that would be pretty cool. All right, we're back in town. That's right. We could make a stop, time permitting, possibly, at the Kissimmee chain or the Harris chain. Right? Perfect. Big O, a couple emerging legendary lakes, Kissimmee or Harris chain, one of those two, because things could be happening there, right?
Okay.
All right. February is Texas.
Texas. We head to Texas in February.
26-hour drive for big bass. There could be a lake along the way. I don't know, man. It's probably going to be, now if we can get him,
Milliken.
Bruce Milliken, man. Milliken fishing, man. O.H. Ivy or Choke Canyon. Man. But then you got to hit the big one.
Legendary lakes.
Those are the emerging ones, right? That's 215 is 25 to 215. So we're leaving, man, that's a long way, man.
It is.
But we could do it. We could do it. I like it. Toledo Bend, but Fork's got to be on it, right? Sound off anybody if you're listening. That'd be freaking, I think Fork. Fork's got some giants in it, man.
Then let me take over. In March, we head to Alabama, my favorite state.
Good one.
And we're going to work something out on Pickwick, hopefully for some monster smallmouth. We're going to hit Guntersville, of course. You have to.
What are we throwing? What are we throwing?
Man,
probably a rattle trap.
Probably
Guntersville, a red trap. Come on, man.
Yes.
Hells to the yeah.
And then we wrap it up with a huge deal up here on the St. Lawrence River in May that Will from Gajo Baits is putting on, and it sounds like the who's who of
May
fishing
4th through 12th. May 4th through the 12th.
Yep.
And you got everybody. Roland, Houston, Johnny Morris, apparently. I don't know, man. Lots of big names. O.T. Fears, an old school. Who else is coming? Maybe Scott Martin.
Yep.
I don't know, man. The list is growing. Will sound off. He's probably watching. I think he's on. I saw him earlier.
No, it'll be a good deal. And so the first year, 2022, I wouldn't call it a trial, but we're not going to go. We definitely want to make a West Coast swing, and we want to do, Eric has this grand, I guess, goal or bucket list, right, of these lakes. And I think at some point we also want to do a legendary smallmouth tour on all the Great Lakes. And that'll be 2023 when we tackle that.
That's right.
I'm talking 25-pound bag on every Great Lakes on film.
That would be stellar. Make it happen.
30 if we time it right. But it's hard to do a 30-pound bag, dude.
There's no question, man.
It's hard.
That's where we are. Yeah.
So it's exciting. So we need to get to work, yes. And we will.
Yeah, man.
We will.
There you go.
You're speechless.
I'm kind of speechless. I mean, a 30-pound bag of smallmouth?
We're going to try at some point.
That I need to see.
I really think I love Eric's. Listen, I'm on board with what Eric's trying to accomplish here. But once we get to 2022, we can go chill out up north in some of these awesome bodies of water. Because Eric, you got a little taste of that 2 weeks ago, man. I know you love it.
I know
you love what we were doing out there.
Who wouldn't love it, man? That
You
is
know.
a lot of fun.
And
There's
I'm
no
going to
question.
say, Eric, I know you complain a lot, meaning you're afraid of big waves.
I'm the
Okay.
complainer. Did you hear me
you're
like
just-
make a peep?
Not
Nah,
okay.
you drove totally responsibly.
Dude, you handled it amazingly. And
It's
we
awesome,
were in
man.
some big water, dude.
It was good, man. It's all good, man. I enjoyed it.
We were in some big
Very,
water.
very much so.
Oh, man. But we definitely want
Very,
to get
very
on
much
the West
so.
Coast, too.
Hells to the yeah. That's coming. That's got
What
to
happened
happen.
to Rick? He just bolts like that?
I think he maybe lost his internet connection. I don't know.
We'll get him back on.
Well, anyway, man.
We'll
There
get
it
him
is,
back
guys.
on. And then I do
Let
see.
me hold it up straight.
The right way.
There it is. Legendary Lakes Tour. Goonie Wolf design. Available on the Bass Lab and my main site. Check it out. That's gonna look good on a truck. Hell yeah. Anyway.
That's the
Awesome.
sticker I got to run on my truck.
Yeah, man. That's right. There's no redesign. Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. You ain't getting no rap.
Now we just
truck.
got to find me a truck. I'm looking for a. Let me know in the
Tundra?
comments. I want to go with a GMC Denali 2500 HD, but I don't know if it should be a short box or the long box. I carry a lot of stuff. I'm thinking the long box, bro.
Gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta be. No question.
Shady Banks
No
goes
question,
to a
man.
10 Lakes tour of Kentucky and will want to quit
And y'all
fishing.
will
Meaning
quit
it's that
fishing.
good or it's that terrible?
Good question, man. I don't know. Man. Lots to explore for sure, man. I mean, this could be, different legs of the trip every year for several years. So, heck yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened to Rick.
Neither do I, man. Did he lose his connection?
He might have. Oh, well, we'll bring him back on if he reemerges.
All right.
In the meantime, I see JP and 12-pound Tom Nee
They coming on?
lurking below.
Bring him.
Let's bring him in, man. Why not?
Bring him on.
Oh, Alex is already on that.
Nice.
What's happening?
What's up? How come
JP,
Gary's
come
not
on, man.
Where's Gary?
Where the hell's Gary?
Gary couldn't make it?
I guess not.
Did you invite him?
He's got a lot of interviews and stuff,
I can't see what interview could be more important than this one right here.
Well,
You know
This is the team. I mean, you're missing the stud on the team right now.
we got.
I
bugs
completely
everywhere.
agree. Well, listen, thanks for having me on. I didn't get the invite earlier, and it just so happened that Alex was able to text this to me 5 seconds ago, so glad I could make it.
Where are you at right now?
Welcome.
I'm at home, man. I just put the kids to bed, and I'm back in the saddle of mortgage banking, and back to the full-time grind, man. The season's over. The open season is finally over, and what better way to celebrate than with the entire team less Gary? So,
The top 10.
somebody text that guy. Get him on.
Man,
Get him on. Does anybody have his text? I don't have his number. You guys got it, right? You're a team.
yes,
JP,
we did.
you're
we were
really
working
silent.
on it. Listen, I
JP,
do.
are you mad at me for the last slide? JP, are you mad at me? Because I've had a lot of commentary that said that was a classic moment. Are you mad at me?
No,
For
I'm not.
what?
What I be mad about?
I'm just checking, man.
Yeah.
JP's not mad. He's cool. JP hooked me up. JP fixed a bunch of boat issues this week. A bunch of his mutual friends. Henry reached out. John, the guy you're staying with, helped me out. Like everybody reached out to try to get me back on the water. And JP came through with the tools and the mindset and the calmness to figure shit out this week for me.
He's MacGyver.
Really worked out for me, I got to tell you.
Every
there.
team needs a MacGyver.
You see this shirt?
That's funny.
You see this shirt? Where's the fish?
No,
Damn,
JP,
those
tell the
smallmouth,
real
man.
story about what happened when that trolling motor went down. Tell the real story.
Well, the trolling motor really wasn't as bad as when the 3 live scopes went down. I get a phone call and Brodus, I got issues. None of my Garmin's are working, and Garmin's not coming to the event. And I go, okay. I said, well, bring it over. I said, but try to relax, because if all 3 of them aren't working, it's probably something stupid. You know what I mean? Like if one went down, yeah, all right, but all these things are networked together. So if all 3 of them went down, it's something probably stupid. So he shows up and he looks like Casper. He's pale white. I mean, he's having like an epileptic seizure in the driveway. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. He just kept saying, I don't know what I'm going to do, you know? So getting dark. My buddy just got his boat back from the shop. He hadn't had it like all summer. So we're working outside, and he brings a light out, and we're looking. And Travis had said, he goes, I found a couple of wires that weren't connected. I'm like, well, that's probably the problem. No, it's not. I plugged them in and it still didn't work. So I said, all right, you know, no big deal. So is that one company a sponsor of yours, Travis, or?
Yes.
Not Garmin, the other one.
Yes.
Okay. So we won't say the name then.
That's vague.
It's a piss poor design that they have, in my opinion. And
Well,
anyway,
it could be, never mind, but keep going.
Definitely a piss poor design. But so anyway, I had to rewire this stuff, and it was like, it had a lot to do with the rigging too. The wires were like, there was just enough, like no pigtail coil for flexing the big waves.
Oh,
you know?
wow, not good.
Just enough to get to where it needed to get to. So I ended up crimping a bunch of wires. You know, I put 2 in one and 3 in another, and then I jumped them to one, and then I jumped that ground back to the main ground, and then voila, they start working, right? And like instantly the color comes back, you know, the pinkness in his cheeks, the spot. Is this going to get me through the tournament? But then, you know, anybody who knows Travis, the fix just isn't good enough, right? Well, this will work until I off a wave, and then it won't work again. No, stay positive, Travis. It's good, you know. So at work, that was on like Saturday, and then Wednesday, I slept in. I was giving the guy that I was staying with a hand. He needed to get a truck dropped off. So Travis is like, you need to be on the water. You know, where are you? I'm like, dude, I'll be down there in about an hour. I got to do something this morning. You know, I got other things going on. And I'm just getting ready to go down to the water. And I get a phone call. And he goes, we have to find a ghost trolling motor. Like right now, my trolling motor shit the bed. So I'm like, okay.
Well, wait, why is he calling you? You just fixed this shit. And now he's calling you for the trolling motor too? What do you like? His personal assistant?
He says this
because I can't call Gary. Gary's jacking on fish. He's on them all the time, and I can't call Tom because Tom doesn't know anything about fixing shit. He just knows mortgages, and you know, I mean, what am I supposed to do?
I go on social media to try.
Well, no, you're looking for a ghost trolling motor, not how to fix one. You could be making calls to a lot of different people.
Oh, and I did.
So listen, so I go on social media to get to my connections, and he's already looking for a boat. I had offers. Listen, I had some real cool guys come and give me their boats for the week, which I really appreciate. Like,
wow,
they allowed me, you know, I had backup plans if I needed it. So obviously, you know, listen, I talked to Matt about this, and Matt's like, that's awesome, Travis, but you know how it is getting someone else's boat and their electronics and you know, different trolling motor, different feel for things. He's like, you really need to get your shit worked on and get it right so you can be your own rig and be comfortable.
Sure.
So he pulls back up into the Corman Hotel, to the garage, right? And we back it in the garage, and instantly he's like, listen, my spot lock works and my constant works, but my normal button doesn't work. So I'm like, all right, well then just relax, dude. It's probably something in the button. Like, again, you just got to chill out. We got to just look, But in the meantime, we had a buddy of mine letting us use his house. Thayer's Marine had a trolling motor, right, in stock. Yep. And my friend Henry Friska from Massachusetts, his wife just had their second baby the day before. And he's like, listen, my wife's not going to be happy about it. But if you're going to get the trolling motor from Thayer's, I'll drive down and grab the trolling motor and I'll meet you, somewhere in New York so you don't have to drive all the way.
That's amazing, man. Strong.
So spot to John Corman and Henry Friska. So we get into the garage and we're looking and stuff. And I said, man, give me an air compressor. I bet you there's something stuck under the stupid button. I don't hear the button.
Yeah.
So I blow that out and I pour some water on it and I blow it out again and boom, it starts working.
Unbelievable.
So I think it was just a piece of dirt or salt or something.
A goby fin.
The goby fin, who knows?
Goby fin.
So I guess in the grand scheme of things for the week, the only thing I was good at was keeping Travis on the water.
he owes you some of that 14th place check.
I caught my personal
or 16th or whatever it was.
7 pounds, 4 ounces. My
holy shit. Take us through that fish catch.
Yeah, so that was on Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, I meet up with Travis. It was kind of like the only time we met all week and actually talked about like areas of interest of fishing. And
wait a second, you guys caught up and talked about areas of interest of fishing?
Yes, one morning on Tuesday morning.
Man,
I sat down at the launch.
I missed that day, apparently.
You missed that meeting.
I sat down at the ramp.
So let's just say this real quick.
Everything.
The story's
this
pretty
is
good.
Interesting. This is fascinating to me. Gary smashes them. Tom's going, I missed the meeting between Travis and JP.
First of all, we never got the meeting with Gary.
I missed the invite to this live show too, apparently.
You are the fifth wheel, bro, or the fourth wheel, man.
I totally agree with that statement at this point.
With what statement?
I don't know. Keep going.
That Tom Nee is the fourth wheel?
No.
The fifth, apparently.
We'll
get to my story, but let's listen to this 7 something.
So he jumps in my boat with a map and he quickly circles 4 or 5 areas, and he's like, "You got to make sure you check out this one area." I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So I go out there, I start fishing and shit, and I go and fish this area that he was like, "You got to check this area out." So I'm going up and down this area, and I'm seeing fish, but they ain't biting or nothing. So then I just start idling around, and I'm like, that kind of looks like Travis over there, And then I go a little further and I see Tom Nee. And I'm like, all right, well, I must be in the area that, of interest. So Travis comes over and he goes, "What are you doing idling over there?" I'm like, well, that was like the main circle of interest you told me to. He goes, "Give me that map." So he looks at the map and he goes, "Well, I screwed up. That wasn't where you were supposed to be." I'm like, that's great. I just wasted 3.5 hours over there trying to find the title. So he goes, but look at, he goes, we got to concentrate in this one zone. He's like, "I'm going to go over there in a couple hours. I think we should go over and spend some time over there. It's dark and rough." So I said, all right. So I go over there and I'm looking at my my mapping on my Lowrance there, and I see a pretty obvious looking piece of topographical lining. So I pull over there and I put the trolling motor in. And it looked like a freaking 1970s Christmas tree. Them red ball ornaments? Man, there were just blobs all over the place, right?
Holy shit.
I'm looking for this for 6 days, right? So I pitch over there.
No way.
Boom, I get a bite. I reel down on it, right? It jumps. I go, well, that's the biggest smallmouth bass I've ever had on my line, And it comes in and I get it and I weigh it and it's 7 pounds, 7.04. 7.0. So I throw it in the live.
Wow.
I want to get a picture of it. And so I get the picture of the fish. I let the fish go. now I've drifted off the spot and I'm quite a ways off of it. So I'm trolling motoring back up, scanning the whole time I'm going up, and I don't see anything. And then I get back up to the spot and bang, there they all are again, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I'll allow myself to catch one more fish just to make sure that they're all big, but all the blobs tell me they're big, right? And I throw in and I catch a 5.5 on the next cast.
Oh my God.
Like elated. So now I move off like 300-400 yards away from this zone, and I'm looking for other obvious looking topography, I'll call it.
And guess who comes barreling in?
Yeah, Travis comes in and he goes, yo, are they in here? And I'm like, yeah, they're in here pretty good. And I told him this is what I was fishing. I didn't give him the exact location, but I said, this is what I'm looking for. And he goes, okay. So I see him idling around and everything, and I'm fishing.
Not idling. I bolted right to the spot.
I hear him screaming, right? Yeah, Mo, they're foe. Yeah, right. And I go, oh, he must have caught it. So now, like, I don't have a 0.1 on my new boat at this point. I was waiting for it to arrive at my buddy's house. So my whole map spins when I'm turning the boat with the trolling motor instead of just arrow. So I'm like, man, it kind of looks like it went right to that spot where I caught the fish. So I start going that way on my trolling motor, and I'm like, he definitely did. So then we meet up again, and he's like, dude, there's a lot of fish. I'm like, yeah, you were right where I caught the 7-pounder. And he's like, really, bro? And we spent like 4 more hours over there and never caught another damn fish.
What?
Hey, listen, I just found the footage. So this was my 5th. I'm going to play that as promised. This is my 5th keeper within 10 minutes to go on the last day of the tournament, which I thought got me in the top 10 potentially. I'm going to share that with you guys right now since I have that. Let me see if I can do this properly. I might be able to. Let me know if you guys can see this. Can you see it?
Well, if you can figure out how to share that, I'm sure you could share one of those 50 spots you had on the St. Lawrence.
Can you see it or not? Right now, can you guys see it?
No.
No.
All right, let me try again. Swallowing.
What's up with that dry cough, Travis?
There's bugs all over the place, dude. I'm swallowing them.
Swallowed them?
You guys can't see this?
No.
All
I don't
right.
have anything, bro.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Now we see your entire screen.
That's fine. Can you see a big image of this video?
Not if you can. There you go.
Yes.
That's good.
All right, here it is.
I know that spot.
I'm like, I need this fish.
So I think I know that spot.
You sure do. Closer than you think.
It's pretty calm. It was
Yeah,
pretty windy there. It was pretty windy there the last time I was there.
that looks like a spot I'd like to fish.
Hey, quiet down.
All right, sorry.
This place will now be trashed, just like Gary's spot will be trashed.
I thought you said Gary's spot was a community hole.
I'm saying both of these are.
Oh, gotcha.
I have not watched this yet.
You almost ran over that damn fish.
I literally have a 3-pounder in my live well I need to get rid of right now.
Is co-angler Mike in the boat at this point?
No, this was day 2.
Oh.
Come on, get him in, bro.
I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Oh my God, I'm shaking.
You did it.
I did it.
I did it. I did it.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yes.
There you go, Holmes.
I did it. What did you think you did it? What you did?
I don't know.
It's a
You
nice
felt
fish.
like that was the fish that got you in the top 10.
It's a nice fish,
Yeah.
Cat.
Is that what you were thinking? Or just that you called up and got rid of that little fish? Was that the I did it moment for you that you were thinking?
Dude, I had 10 minutes before I had to leave to go in.
So you were happy that you got rid of that small one to give you a fighting chance to get in the top 10.
Yes.
That was going through your head. Gotcha. Yeah.
I thought I was in the top 10 at that point.
I got
Travis,
you.
how big do you think that fish was?
5.5.
I want to know why everybody's saying that this team was one-sided and all we did was take and we never gave. Travis wouldn't even have been on the goddamn lake for that tournament if I wasn't there all week fixing his shit, Sean.
Well,
Sometimes
maybe they weren't saying you were just taking. Just saying. Hey,
Is there
what
anything
about
you
my-
want to say to JP, Travis? I mean, this would be your moment.
no,
I've
Travis,
got nothing to say, JP. I think everything worked out fine.
Travis thanked me. I'm getting sick. These dudes in the comments, they always got something to say. Like it's always a take. And we
You know, listen, they're always bashing me. It's fine.
They're
not
bashing
mad at
Travis,
you,
not you, JP.
They're
They
just
said,
bashing me. That's just what they do. There he goes. He clarified.
Hey,
Sean just likes to give me a hard time.
what?
I take the dude out fishing, yet he still criticizes me on every live show.
Who's this?
Nothing. I'm just messing with Sean. He knows that.
Hey, just curious, guys. Like I felt like I wasn't part of the team last week.
Well, that's because you
What
were
happened?
out on Mud Lake or Black Bear, wherever you were, and you didn't come over and hang out. None of that stuff, man.
Whoa, oh, so it's my
It's
fault.
your fault.
Wait a second. You decide to stay in a house with your family, which I totally.
No, listen,
You-
Gary's on the show now. He can set the record straight. Tom, you
Gary!
just left us, man. There he is. Top 10 Gary.
That's all we get. We get a screenshot of Gary. Just a photo.
is that what you're doing?
He was there.
It's
We'll
just
see if we can
again.
get him back. We'll see if we can get him back.
No,
This
let's
is some
talk about
kind
the
of-
team, man. Because listen, what was the plan for the team going into the St. Lawrence? Because I might have missed some of that stuff.
Individuals. Any given Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah, right.
Boom.
JP died out there on Lake.
Man.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, we're
You
trying
know-
to get Gary on because, as you guys know, Gary fished the top 10. You probably saw him on Bassmaster Live, but we cannot seem to get him on Smallmouth Crush Live tonight. He froze up a few times and he disappeared. So maybe bad internet where he's at, but we certainly will try to get him in the future if we can.
In the future.
So I'll give you guys a little background. So yeah, Travis, you stayed with your family. That was really cool to have, the wife and the kids, and you had your parents come into town, which was awesome. JP, you stayed over at your buddy's place, which seemed to work out. I ended up hanging out with Gary and co-angler Mike, and we had some extra people jump in. We had Adam Nye, who finished in the top 5, who
Wow.
absolutely crushed it. We also had co-angler Mitch, who came with Adam, who absolutely crushed it. I think he made a top 10 on the
Damn.
week. These guys really, really got dialed into something special, and I can tell you it had nothing to do with the live scope. And I would
Wow.
definitely go back and check out what Adam was doing, what Gary was doing on the St. Lawrence. They did find a very special spot that it was completely unpredictable, and they just found a way to just crush them, just absolutely crush them. And I don't want to share it because I think Gary should, but
Yeah.
I was really fortunate to be in that house and kind of pick up on some of the things that they were doing. I wasn't able to capitalize on the same kind of bite that they had, but
Now, your trolling motor died as well. Is that correct?
dude, you know what?
You had some issues.
Yeah, it turns out it was the onboard charger. So one of the banks was bad. It wasn't charging the battery, but it was indicating that the battery was fully charged. So you can just imagine, like, without testing every battery, every charger bank, everything, like, you could really, you go to turn your trolling motor on and it's just not working 15 seconds before they, maybe not 15 seconds, but a good 3 or 4 minutes before they call your boat number. You're like getting off the dock with your trolling motor and you're like, it's off. It's not working. Have fun fishing. So that was really tough to overcome. But, I had a great attitude about it. And the best part about it was picked up the phone, called the tournament director, said, look, can I change the battery out? I'll run back to the marina, pull a battery out of my truck. I happen to bring one. He's like, go ahead and do it. Just your co-angler cannot fish while you're doing that. I was like, no problem. So went through that process. Turned out the battery in the truck also was dead. I ended up having a trickle charger, threw the lithium on a trickle charger in the parking lot of the marina, went back out without a trolling motor for a few hours. And in 5 minutes, I caught a 5.5 pounder. Just no trolling motor. I was like, this is perfect. This will work for me. And the day did not work out so great. I think I ended up with like 13 pounds, had a trolling motor for about 2 hours. Was able to figure out really quickly that the onboard charger set me up for failure. So I did have that trickle charger, was able to get all the batteries juiced up for the next day. So I did get a full day out of the trolling motor, but it was tough. It was really tough. But I will say this, day 2, working off a lot of what I learned from being in that house with Gary and Adam, I jumped off a 7-pounder. Like, it was the biggest fish I've ever seen in my life, man. And it was really exciting to fight it halfway to the boat and then lose it. But yeah, I should have been on a 22-pound bag, which was not a 25-pound bag, but certainly would have made me feel a lot better about the day for sure. But these fish, man, I'll tell you, like, Travis lost a few of them on day 1. I think he shared that. You have to be on a few extra fish and plan to lose a few. And, it just goes to show you that the guys that are fishing in the top 10 in this tournament are on enough of those fish. And I'm sure, I promise you, like, they are losing a few every day and they just keep going after them. So it's, you can't be on 5 bites. You need to be on 10 bites and hope to land 7.
Wow. Well, JP, let's hear about your derby, man. We heard about you fixing Travis's woes, but how did your derby go? What? Yeah, you're on mute,
bro.
Uh-oh, now we lost him. Oh, he's back. He can't hear you. Hello? Nope. No.
Nothing, JP. Come on, man.
That's weird.
You can fix the trolling motor, but you can't figure out his computer.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Garrett, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Oh,
yeah,
Gary,
that's perfect.
You guys hear him?
Yeah.
Congratulations, Gary.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Gary, what's going on? You got bad internet? Where are you at?
I'm way out in the country. Me and my wife went out to dinner.
Ah, I got you.
Spending that tournament winnings.
So, yeah, I had a little heads up. I would have stayed home tonight.
Well, you should be the featured guest.
Yeah, I would have thought so, but you know how things go.
This team is in trouble. I'm just going to go out and step out and say it. This team is in trouble.
We're fine. We're fine.
Can you hear me now?
So, Gary, listen, I know we only got audio on you. I don't know how long we're going to be able to keep you. Why don't you take us through just through your week real quick? Tell us, like, how you got dialed into a top 10 bag.
Well, I'll tell you what, in practice, I actually struggled a little bit. I fished the lake as much as I could. I went over towards that Prince Edward area. I did find some fish over there, but they were close to 40 miles away.
Wow.
And then, Adam was staying with us. He kept on talking all week about how he was catching all these big fish in the river, dragging tubes. So I spent my last 2 days of practice doing that, looking for areas, and stumbled across an area over by the Carlton Island area. And actually, I only caught 2 fish there, but they were big fish. One was a 5.5, and one was just under 5. So I knew it had potential. And with the live scope, I could see there was plenty of fish in the area. So I tried to expand on that. I did find a couple more areas that had fish. But first day of the tournament, I started in that Carlton Island area, not knowing really what I had. Once I got there, within the first couple hours, I had over 20, but then I was able to build on it throughout the day to eventually get to that 25-10. The second day I went there, I did struggle a little bit in the morning. The wind had shifted and started coming out of the north, which changed the drag that I was doing. Actually, made it almost impossible to the point where I actually had to use a trolling motor to move the boat to get to the speed that I needed. And then the next day, the wind shifted back out of the southwest, which gave me the same wind I had the first day, which allowed me to make my drift accurately. And then I sacked 24 pounds, which
wow,
in 6th place.
It's interesting how wind can play a factor. And did you find that, when you would scan an area that some of the fish you might have been catching you didn't see on the live scope and were kind of glued to the bottom? They weren't visible with the scope or not?
I did. There was a lot of that. I mean, there was little groups of them here and there, but a lot of fish that I caught, I didn't see on live scope.
Interesting.
But then there was others that I'd see them on live scope, and I would move my boat to position my bait to drag through them few fish. And I did get a few extra fish doing that.
Sure. Interesting. What if you don't mind me asking, what size tube head?
I was using a 2 3/4 stubby tube, and I was using a 3/8 jig insert.
Cool. Very cool. How many tubes did you go through and heads did you go through during your 3 days of fishing? Just curious.
I probably went through a dozen the first day. I didn't go through as many the second day, maybe 5 or 6. And I only
That's not bad.
3 or 4 the last day.
That's not bad. Very cool, man.
The strange thing that I thought was really weird to me was the second day I had a hard time keeping the zebra mussels off my jig hook. The first day I didn't have any problem with that. The second day it seemed like I wouldn't drag 50 feet, and I could feel the weight difference. I had picked up zebra mussels. They continued to happen. So I was making a lot of drags, wasting time. Because a lot of times you'd only have 1 or 2 zebra mussels on there, and you wouldn't know the difference. And you reel it in, and you got zebra mussels stuck to your hook. So I'm thinking to myself, how long was I dragging that along?
Yeah.
And how much time did I waste doing that? But then when the wind shifted the next day, I didn't have that problem again. So I don't know.
That's so crazy. Maybe the zebra mussels grow in a certain way based on the current and the wind and how they feed, like they shift. Who knows? I'd like to see an underwater picture of what a zebra mussel field looks like on the bottom. Are gobies swimming around in those zebra mussels too? It's crazy.
Yes, definitely.
It's like a protein factory down there, man.
Getting a lot of goby bites as I was dragging through.
Nice. What hook is on that tube, man? Is it a gamakatsu? That tube insert? Or a gamakatsu, man? Nothing better.
Gary,
what pound leader were you using? Sorry, Travis. Go ahead.
What kind of what?
pound leader.
I was using a 10-pound leader.
And what brand is the most durable you found that will get you through those zebra mussels, man? I mean, I know everybody has their favorite, but what's your choice?
I was using Seagar and Brazex.
Okay.
Gary, were your tentacles getting tore up by gobies or not really?
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something really interesting. And I'll give this one to Adam. He turned me on to this. Once the tube got beat up more, you tend to get more bites.
Sure.
How about that? Interesting, man.
When you put a fresh tube on, you didn't get as many bites until you caught one or two fish, and it seemed like they would eat it better. So it got to the point where I would beat the tube up before I even put it in the water for the first time.
Hey, man, that's a Randy Blackett trick, man. I mean, just saying. He beats all his. I know Travis is just hating me right now, but I have to say it.
I have nothing against you, bro.
Look,
Why are you saying that?
I'm just
don't tell me.
Don't you tell me who you don't like. I know what you did last summer, man. But listen, the original, and this goes back to the original Ned. For those of you that don't know, the original Ned bait. This was an article in Fisherman. They used a zero, which is a Senko style bait. They would cut it in half, and they would use super glue to extend the life. And they said the more the bait got torn up, the better it performed. It lost a lot of salt. It started to look ratty. It's kind of like the same concept of a hook rash bait, whether it be a topwater or crankbait. They seem to perform better. Interesting, man. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing, Gary.
Yeah.
What color? Was it a secret color, or was it like a super common color tube that everybody throws up there?
I was using two different color tubes. In the morning, during low light and cloud cover, it was green pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as the sun got high and we had good light, I used an amber with purple flake, and it was a day and night difference.
Isn't that amazing?
You would get bit in the morning on the green pumpkin, and then they would stop eating it. You'd switch to amber, and you immediately start getting bit again.
Isn't that amazing with the sunshine now? Did you have a day that was super cloudy with no sun penetration and the green pumpkin continued to perform, or it didn't matter? You had to use when there was any light penetrating.
Well, there wasn't a lot of we had a little bit of cloud cover the last day, so I did stick with the green pumpkin a little longer. But once the sun came up, when I switched, and it seemed like the bigger fish came on amber.
Isn't that amazing, man? That a lot of people say color doesn't matter, but man, wow. For smallies, maybe it does more than most. But fascinating. But green pumpkin, I mean, can you argue with green pumpkin? Was there any special flake in it? If you don't want to share, that's fine. I'm just curious, was it green pumpkin black flake, or did you have some purple in it, or something that those smallmouth feel is sexy?
Yeah, there was purple flake in the tube, yes.
Yeah. What is it with purple in those damn smallmouth?
I don't know.
Crazy. Me either.
The amber also had the purple in it.
Yeah. Fascinating, man. That's good stuff, man. So you were drifting, and how did you control your boat speed while you're drifting, man? Like, are you looking for a certain mile per hour? Or are you trying to keep, a little bit of slack in your line? I've never drifted like that much. I've only drifted with Travis, and it was really cool to do it. I don't get the chance to drift for fish very often, but it was a lot of fun, man. We were on Oneida, and he was showing me a long line technique, and we caught a few, man, drifting. I won't say where or what, but it was fun.
It was crucial to match the current speed. The wind made that a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
When it was coming out of the southwest, I'd use my trolling motor to slow me down. I put my bow into the wind, and I tried to stay between 1.2 and 1.3 miles per hour.
Fascinating.
Set up was there was weeds floating on the surface.
Oh.
I put my boat alongside it, and I messed with my trolling motor till I matched that exact speed.
Interesting. So it's freaking like trout fishing. Like trout fishing, when you're fly fishing, and you make a cast, you have to mend your line upstream. You absolutely don't want your fly dragging faster because of the bow in your line. It looks unnatural to the fish, and you get a lot more bites if you're matching that current speed when you're trout fishing. That's so crazy that you're trying to do the same smallmouth. Makes sense. Makes sense. Did you impart any action on the tube or none at all? Just a dead dog drift. You're not popping it. You're not snapping it.
They did not want it moved at all.
Wow, man.
Just hold your rod steady and just wait for the bite. I started jigging it a little bit, trying to put a little action into it. They did not want it that way. They made it very clear to me they didn't want it that way. As soon as
Wow.
I just held it there, then they would eat it.
Man, that's awesome. Did you lose any fish that mattered?
First day I lost one that I'm sure was over 6. The second day I missed a few bites. None that I saw, none that I could say would have helped me or hurt me.
Yeah.
I didn't lose a lot of fish. They were eating it good.
Now, do you use a high vis braid to fluoro, or do you go with a natural color blade, or do you think it matters?
I was using 2 different braids, one high vis and one not, and it didn't seem to matter.
Okay, interesting. Do you think there's a time that it does matter?
I don't know that it does. I mean, it's a personal preference. A lot of guys like the high vis just so they can see the line. They can see the jump line or the stick in the line. With the Loomis rods that I use, I feel everything, so it's not that important to me.
Hell yeah. What Loomis were you throwing, man? Talk to me.
I had one NRX and then 2 GLXs that I was using.
7.5?
7.1. I believe there were 7.1s. Medium action, fast action.
Medium action, yeah, man. JWR on that NRX, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, baby. Hard to beat them. I love them. What's your reel, man? What's your reel of preference these days? I
was using Shimano's. I don't even know what brand name they are.
It don't matter. CI14?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Good stuff, man. That's a hell of a combo right there.
So, Garrett, talk to me about the bite, because I was doing something very similar on day 2, and I don't know if you heard it. I jumped off a really big fish. Same idea, dragging a tube. I noticed that the bite got really interesting, and it's almost like you could feel the bite before you actually hook the fish. And I want you to just if you experience that at all, just kind of elaborate on that bite and what you felt before you kind of set the hook.
As I was dragging, I would actually feel a lot of times the bait would feel it pushed forward, like they would not slack in the line, and then all of a sudden the rod would load up. There was some of that. I also had some times where I felt they just were pinning the bait to the bottom versus trying to eat it. Other than that, I didn't have a lot of problems with hook sets. It seems like when I felt the rod going up, I just hooked everyone that did.
I'm sorry, Gary. I wish you could see what we could see. JP is actually just watching the show in bed and wearing a WTF shirt with a question mark, and the question mark's in the shape of a hook, and it says below the WTF, it says, "Where's the fish?" And so he's just enjoying the show. He's just sitting back enjoying the show. I mean, he's checked out. We lost him for a second. We haven't heard about his tournament, but we're gonna ask here in a minute if he's not sleeping. That's why we're all laughing, Gary. Sorry. Proceed.
I'll tell you something else. That spot that I was fishing,
yeah.
I felt there was more fish coming to me every hour.
That's crazy.
Other than the second day where I struggled a little bit, and I'm sure that was just the wind direction change. And I don't think I ever got my speed right, and it a few bigger fish. But
Interesting.
and I just felt there was more and more fish loading up. That last day, it was incredible. I mean, I bet you I had 20 bites that day.
That's crazy. Is where you fish a community hole? Like that area? I heard somebody saying it was like a well-known area. I mean, no, yes?
There was, the first day there was 4 or 5 boats there.
Okay.
Second day there was 3. Travis was in the area the second day. He was out a little further, doing his drops on live scope. He was in a great area. In fact, I caught a few fish on that outside drop myself the first day.
Mm-hmm.
The last day, Adam and I had it to ourselves.
Interesting. Wow, crazy, man. Fascinating stuff. It seems to me, listening to you, that controlling your drift, controlling your line, just having great equipment to detect bites, and knowing the wind and how to play it is so critical on that body of water, because man, it shifts daily, and the just the knowledge of how to play the wind in different areas and how that affects smallmouth movement. And is that why those fish move? It's like I hear everybody that fishes for smallmouth, including Travis, one day you're there and there's this giant group of smallmouth, and the next they're gone. Did they leave because the bait left, or did they leave because there was no current or the wind shifted? What make those smallmouth like be there and then they gone?
I think they position themselves with the current. So
okay.
Close to them, and they don't got to chase it. Smallmouth are lazy fish. I mean,
interesting.
They hide behind a rock and wait for something to come to them.
Yeah.
Themselves so the fish can food to them. There, I think they eat gobies more than they eat anything. And I don't care where you drop the line in that body of water, there's gobies on the bottom.
That's nuts. It's insane. What a protein factory. I mean, it has to be able to produce fish like that. There's nothing like it in the world. It's crazy. Freakish is what they are. They're freaks.
Yeah.
There's
smallmouth and current
5-pound bags everywhere in that body of water. It's just trying
if
to
you can get to it.
That day. Yeah.
Sure. Good point, Travis. Wow, JP. So let's hear about your tournament.
My tournament sucked.
Okay, thanks, JP.
Well, listen,
back to you.
Now, before we get to JP, because I know it's getting late, JP. You got work to do tomorrow. You're probably up in Malone, right?
Yeah, I'm at the hotel in Malone.
At the hotel in Malone. Gary, again, good job. We're gonna let you go since you're on your phone. A lot of people in the comments want to know, where did you go out to eat in Wisconsin? What's the restaurant of choice?
Applebee's on late night.
No. Me and my wife went to a place called Club Chalet. They specialize in ribeyes and lobster.
Ah. Oh. Where's that at? Is that in Green Bay?
It's up between Dykesville and Green Bay.
Ah, interesting.
Turf and turf.
Nice.
Damn right. I'll show you some ribeye for a largemouth right there, bro. What?
There you go.
Good job, Gary, again.
Gary, thank you, man. We know you were out to date night, and we thank you for last minute with this. We were a little unorganized, but you're the man.
It's my pleasure.
Hey, by the way, Gary led the team, man. He closed out the Northern Open season number 1 out of the 4 of us.
There you
go.
Good job, Gary.
Gary. Hey.
If I wouldn't have had the one bad day in 09 Lake, I would have made the elites this year.
That's a bold statement, man. And you know what? I think you're right. You did a great job this year. What do you think, man? Do you think you want to partner with these 3 other cats next year? What are you thinking?
Let's take a look at the schedule, and I'm up for it.
All right. We'll see about that. We'll see.
Okay, we got one renewal in. JP, I can't wait to see JP's vote.
All right, Gary. Thanks. Hey, congratulations again on an awesome finish. I watched you all day on Saturday. I know a lot of other people.
Me too.
Great to see you, man.
Oh yeah, man. It was exciting.
All right, we'll see you, Gary. Take care, man.
All right.
Later.
Well, that's cool. We were able to get them in with the damn.
Nice job, TP2.
Hey, listen, that's how we do it. That's how we do it. You got to get the guy that was on the juice, on the show. The guy knows a few things about smallmouth. He was in your podcast, and he found something special out there that wasn't dropping. And I got to tell you, it was working really well that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So, hey, next year we don't have the schedule yet. Let's get the votes in now. We got Gary's vote. JP, what are you thinking, man? Is this foursome a force to be reckoned with in 2022? What do you think?
I'm gonna wait and see what the schedule is.
We gotta see if we're gonna fish next year, brothers.
Trav, you in for the team?
I gotta see what the schedule's like, dude.
Come on, man.
I don't know
Tom,
what to do.
you in for renewal?
Oh, man.
Tom don't know. He's quiet. He's talking, but he's quiet.
I think he's there was a slow motion internet thing
man.
going on for a second.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh.
Man,
Let's take.
He's back.
anything I could do to contribute to the team is
JP, you got this look on your face, man, and I just need to dial down into what you're thinking before you hit the end button and go
I'll tell you
bye-bye
exactly what he's
bedtime.
thinking.
What are you thinking,
realize-
JP? You are a Cheshire cat, man. You got this
Eric.
grin. You're quiet.
all right. I
Normally,
think I'm
like, you
losing
shot
you
of a
guys,
cannon.
so I think I got to call it a night. So
All right, Tom. We'll
Later,
talk.
Tom.
Um,
What was I thinking, Travis?
Well, I'm thinking that you realize you need to spend more time up here, dude.
Yeah, I want to spend some more time up on Lake Ontario. That's for sure. I really fell in love with that place this year. It's just a very special place.
mhm.
I've had success. I've also realized that the places I had success on are definitely seasonal places, and there's just so much to learn. And I think I would rather spend my time up there than going to the James River. That's 100% truth.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. I mean, after going there, holy crap, right? I mean,
But if
wreck
they
you,
come
man.
out with a schedule that's like Lake Champlain, Thousand Islands, Lake St. Clair, then yeah, I'm probably gonna throw my hat in the pot again, But I really don't have any interest in going back down to the James River.
I realized after this event that making the Elite Series to me isn't. And I think I mentioned this earlier this year. It doesn't have the same vibe it used to for me. I really want to just get better here on Lake Ontario. There's so much I have to learn out here. Like it would take me forever. Like I will never learn this body of water. And
it's vast.
I want to just focus on this zone. So I do want to fish every major tournament up here in the future. Would I like to make the Classic? And do I think I could win one potentially? At some point, I probably will be able to, but you have to fish all three in order to do that. So do I want to fish the Elites? I don't know. Would I? Yes. Do I want to fish the Classic? Absolutely. So you kind of have to fish all three in order to do that. Not saying that they're going to be up here every year, but they probably will come back next year. So I'm going to see what the schedule is to decide if I want to fish next year or not. But I really would rather just dominate or try to dominate the events up here in this region and just focus on that the rest of my life. I'd be fine with,
There you go. I mean, it's a good vision, man. Right?
I love it up here. Like
fish where you love.
I feel every day is amazing up here to me. Like
Sure.
Even today, and I didn't really do anything hardcore. It was just cool being out there. Like
boat ride and family time.
It's amazing.
Man.
I love it up
I
here.
feel you, bro. I feel you, man.
One thing I did learn is that you know, the opens is a whole nother level of fishing. And I fished them years ago. I've had success. I've finished in the top 3 in an open before. But like when I fish the BFLs and the ABAs and team tournaments, me personally, I go into the tournament with a totally different mindset and attitude, and I always end up doing a lot better than I do in them
Interesting.
opens, where I think when I'm fishing a bass open, I'm putting a lot more stress on myself than I need to. And, you know, that's just part of learning the whole process of tournament fishing. And,
Yeah.
you know, you're going into a multi-day event and you're trying to learn how to manage your areas and manage your fish.
Yeah.
And there's 200 boats.
I'll tell you what, JP, it makes an ABA or a BFL out here seem like a cakewalk.
Yes.
I've never experienced a week of so much pressure on so many areas. And now a lot of the places I've done well in tournaments are what you would consider community holes / known areas, but a lot of it isn't. And even a lot of the stuff that was kind of off the wall, like that spot we went to where you caught that big one. I was surprised to see. I mean, listen, Chris Johnson was on that spot on day 1, you know, or Corey was the guy that won the tournament. And he was also in that zone I was debating to go to. So, you know, these guys, they'll find where they're biting. Look at Gary. They'll find where these fish are biting. You know, you have to be on it. You can't just wing it. And I barely got by this open based on winging shit, like doing like all my 5 fish on day 2 came off of stuff I never would have thought I would be in a tournament. Never thought I would go there.
Right.
Not
interesting, man.
Yeah.
And you know, for all the guys out there in the comments and listening and everything, you know, you think you're a good fisherman, go fish an open.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm a good fisherman. I mean, I've got the background of a good fisherman. And then you go to those tournaments and man, it's tough. It's hard to compete. It really is.
John goes, good luck running those areas in the BFL and Messina. Yeah, Johnny, I'll be there.
He'll do it.
A 2-hour run one way.
Hey, Travis has done it before. I'm here to testify. My man will run. He will run. He got no compunction with it. 2.5 hours one way. That's nothing.
But it does suck that they're going to be out of Messina. A lot of these major tournaments are out of Messina now.
Well, they just put a giant new ramp in, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting.
Which is fine. Your yeah, it is what it is. There's still good fish down that end. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
this year was not a. I'm just gonna say Morristown East year to be fishing this body of water.
That's exactly what I was gonna say too. I don't know what that's talking about.
It's not always that way though, Eric. You can get a hell of a bang in that zone at times.
Right.
Every year is different out here. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Damn. Well, hey man, can I show you some exciting stuff I got going on the Bass Lab store? Is Alex still on? Alex,
yeah, he's
AI.
right down here. Let's bring him on.
Bring him on. Bring on AI. Come on. Throw up that Bass Lab. I haven't posted these yet, but these are for the folks that pre-ordered on the last Patreon. So I'm going to take care of them first. But these are the Tacklecraft Bass Lab Collab OG-1 collection.
I'm going to bed.
I'll start at. Go to bed, JP.
Later.
You don't know nothing about a double stamped OG-1, but this is my little copperback, man, copper shoulder. It's got like an olivey back with a little highlight on the nose and a little whisper orange on the bottom. That's a dynamite pattern, man, for dirty or stained water. And these run absolutely true, man. And then I got my Holo Shad. Come on. The Holo Shad, you can see that I sent him some nail polish. Check out that holographic nail polish right there. He thinned it down and painted the top. I gave it a little sexy chartreuse on the side. and then just a whisper orange on the belly too. So that's the holographic shad. Then I got the candy apple. Never seen a candy apple crawl in a -1. Only at the Bass Lab. That's an exclusive right there. If you don't throw a red crankbait, you just don't know. Right there.
If I never had to throw another red crankbait again, Eric, I'd be a happy man.
Yeah, I know you would, man. This is the blue crab pattern, but this could also mirror
cool.
Yeah, this is a matte finish. Got a little blue fleck on the back, but you know, nice little cream bottom. That is in a matte finish. Going to be dynamite. And then this is the fire crawl, guys. Oh my gosh, in the spring, dude, and full moons. Don't put your red or orange crankbaits down during the year. They absolutely eat it. And then this is the rusty crawl right here. School bus yellow side, orange belly. This is the Thin Man in a copper back. Caught some of my biggest bass on the upper bay in Potomac. This is I call it a worming crankbait. It's based on the Little Speedy design. This is a slow float model, but absolutely tight action. And 10-pound test, worm that thing through lay down or wood, and hang on. And I might release a couple of these, but I don't know. This is a clear ghost Ozark shad by TK. These might have to stay in my box. Never been done before, man. But TK, you freaking nailed it. Wow. And of course, the regular Ozark shad, which you guys have seen from TK, man. He freaking nailed it. It's an out of production color. And a flat A. So, boom. Whew. TK, you crushed it, man. And, of course, Bass Lab stickers available. As always, man, you got the Bass Lab up top, the Dr. Frankenstein, Rise and Glide, and River Rat. I got some T-shirts, a very limited order coming in that I'll release on the Bass Lab site. When they're gone, they're gone. And then I'll do a pre-order if you don't get them on the first run. So I should have the River Rat T-shirts in stock at some point and posted up coming up later this week. So I do have some things on the site right now. What's that now? And then one more thing, man. Tackle ID. If you're into labeling your reels, you can get these sheets on my website, man. They're from Tackle ID, and they're awesome, man. So you never have to worry about what kind of line did I spool up. You got fluorocarbon, you got braid, and you got mono, man. Boom. And all different line sizes, even some of the JDM sizes. So all available on the Bass Lab. Travis, I really appreciate you letting me talk about that. And one last thing. Look at what TK did to that bomber, man. That reflector bomber. Fire Tiger, dude. River killer. If you ain't throwing Fire Tiger, start throwing Fire Tiger. That's my tip of the night. Thank you. Thank you, T. Thank you, T Speed.
Yes, yes. Oh, man.
TK,
I know. I'm working on hats too, man. I'm working on hats too, man. So yeah, TK and I got a few other things up our sleeve, and I've been testing in this white box.
Sounds like our team. You're doing one thing, not telling me. I have no idea what's going on up in here. It's the first I hear about it.
In this box, man, the Big M Marty Burns crankbait.
I'm on mute or something. Nobody's even listening to me, probably.
But I tested one of Marty Burns' crankbaits down at my dock, man, and a freaking smallie came out and grabbed it, man. It was pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool to be testing a crankbait from Big M and, you know, a smallie just coming out. Because I'm just looking at the swim action. He couldn't take it. He just jet out and ate it. It's pretty nice. I should post it up on the Insta. But, hey, I showed this lure a while back when I came back from Florida. It's the Epic Shad. It's a big-bodied balsa bait. I'm only going to have a limited number of them. It's going to be super expensive, but it's a big bite bait, and I got a surprise on the lip. I'll show you guys when they come in. They're going to TK for paint, so stay tuned for that update, man. These are Bad Man Pajamas, so big things happen at the Bass Lab, Trav. Come on.
Let's see that.
Crankbait Central.
Busy.
Dude, I can't wait till I get my shit in order for next year, bro.
What are you ordering?
Dude, all I'm saying is I know now. I have the plastics dialed in. I have the techniques dialed in. I know what I want. We're going to have a massive auction.
Ooh, nice.
Of stuff that works, but I ain't ever going to use again.
Yeah, you're just totally
I'm
dialed into how you
simplifying,
like to
dude.
fish, what you like to
I'm
throw. That's
simplifying.
cool.
I'm getting ready. I'm gonna tell you what. I am a big supporter of the Beast Coast finesse jig that I helped design. And I use it a lot in the past.
Yep.
And now that it's like real in here and I can get my hands on it, I'm telling you, I am catching so many fish on that damn thing, dude.
Yeah.
That it makes me sick to my stomach that I missed out on that type of bite in the past.
Oh, I know, right?
Not only that, but the Carolina rig, I thought was for people that don't know how to drop shot up here on the Great Lakes. And I'm learning that
it
is
ain't so
very important as well. And so I learned a tremendous amount when it comes to techniques and baits this year as well. And
that's cool.
I really want to fine tune this stuff, and I'm trying to, guys. Like that jig bite is amazing when you get it going.
That's pretty cool, man.
Seriously.
And now you got the jig to do it.
I know. I just need more.
Yeah.
Well,
you go through a little bit, right?
So Derek goes, what are you going to need for this open? And literally, because you guys know, I've talked about it. I drop on those fish a lot of times at 1/4 ounce with a little Ned rig on the back of that, right? I didn't think I would be dragged, and I needed more 1/2 ounce for this pass event. And I'm getting low on them, but I didn't realize how much I was going to use a heavier one.
Yeah.
For the St. Lawrence smallmouth in the river. And dude, crazy.
Damn.
If you would have saw before my trolling motor broke the day before the open, because I was experimenting with that jig and it was windy as hell. I was the only So the day before at the ramp, I got there at 6 o'clock and there was already 30 boats lined up to launch.
Holy crap.
The last day of practice, I was the only boat there, and I kind of hung out for a little bit. And there wasn't a soul to be found at the ramp because it was blowing like 20 that morning. Gust up to 30 that day. And the only thing I could do is like, well, I'm going to drag this football around some key areas that I know. And dude, it's surprised. Like I had a super heavy bag within an hour and a half.
That's crazy, man.
Before my trolling motor broke.
So do you find that like that wind can turn those smallies on if you can stand it?
Yeah, I think so. I really do.
I mean, wind creates current. It you know, your everything becomes, it breaks up your lure, I suppose. I mean, wind can be your friend. I mean, I heard a story about a guy who fished your tournament, never smallmouth fished, never been to the lake, and all he did was rolled up. Who told me this? Sound off if you're listening. I think it was Jamie Newton, and just rolled up on every windy point he could see, fish shallow through a chatterbait, and freaking stoned 20+ pound bags every day.
Yeah,
not a drop shot in his bag, just chatterbait and windy points.
Dude, I mean, as much as I love drop shot, and that's still going to be a main focus of mine, but like I said, the jig and the sea rig, and a couple guys here in the comments I see, I'm drifting that Carolina rig quite a bit.
That's interesting, man. That's something I would love to do.
Travis, how's that the 6 Sense pre-rig? I saw you bought some of those. Have you had a chance to use them?
No, I did not. I have them shipped up here. I did not tie them on, only because I still had my I actually didn't lose the weight. I caught a bunch of fish on it. I did not lose that setup. I'm using 50-pound Cortland braid to a 17-pound monofilament leader, about 2 feet, with a 1 ounce tungsten weight, with just a plastic bead, and it's been working out good for me. I actually haven't lost as much as you'd think. So I do want to try the 6 Sense combo that they make.
Here's a tip for you, man. Like, so how often do you come back with the weight but just lose your 17-pound leader? When you lose it, do you lose your whole rig?
I didn't even have to retie it, dude.
But you know those little plastic things that allow you to like pre-rig, like you know, panfish kind of leaders. You know, you kind of loop it around.
Sure.
I did that because I used to like the split shot.
Oh yeah,
I'd lose a good.
You could buy something like that. Yep.
And just have that, 2 foot of leader just wrapped around, ready to go with hooks pre-tied, and all you got to do is if you lose your leader and not your rig, tie it back up. Seems like it'd be a good plan, man. I don't know.
I'm trying to get a video together, which I should have enough footage of the new the open water finesse jig that we helped design for Beast Coast. I have a lot of different places I've used that with different trailers, and so I'm trying to get as much footage as I can and try to put together a really nice video. I'm also going to try to interview Paul, the guy actually talked to me about that jig 10 years ago, and the making of the jig and how it came about. And so I want to be able to put together a really good video on that. That's kind of what I'm focused on. There's so many video ideas, guys, for the YouTube channel that I wanted to do, that I'm going to do in the future, but I just need a little bit of patience with you guys. I know we need to do a little bit more educational videos because a lot of it's been tournaments this year and just practice and tournament, blah, blah, blah. And I'd like to start getting back into teaching more, a lot with electronics. I want to focus on, I want to show you guys why I use 3 live scopes. For a while, I've been keeping it a secret, or, the word's out, live scope is the way to go. If you don't have a live scope up on the Great Lakes, you're behind the pack already. But would love to be able to show you guys real life situations out there that I come across every day where I see the need for all the different versions, the straight down, the forward, the one on the stick, all of that, and kind of take that into consideration when I'm trying to put together more educational videos. Now, Eric and I try to do that a little bit, but we call them all drop shot, Eric.
Yeah, we did. Oh no, I caught a couple dragging a jig. Remember? I was throwing that jig, blind casting a jig. I finally caught 2 on it. Huh?
And I know we want to beat a dead horse, but when I'm telling you guys, when I use the Gajo Spear Shad, that is my number 1 drop shot bait out there. You saw it, Eric.
I'm dudes, guys. Listen, practice.
I would love. I buy all the bullshit stuff.
A gallon bag of them. Literally a gallon Ziploc sitting on. You never put it away, and that's all we fished. The small one and the 3 and the 4-inch, the entire time.
Yeah,
and they freaking eat it nonstop. Good.
I try so many different ones, and listen, most of the time they all work, but I always go back to the confidence, especially in tournaments. And I just love it, dude. Like,
it's legit.
I feel like
profile, action, size, colors. Will is a master at color, and at
I started freaking out, last 4 or 5 years, because I thought everyone's gonna be throwing it, which they do.
Yeah.
But
smoke purple, guys.
Purple,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your
this year. Smoke purple has been the color for me.
Yep.
Now
you do like that. What's the other one that's really good? Paradise? No.
Well, the green pumpkin blue highlight, but
oh my god, yeah, like
black.
That'd be the
black used to be everything to me. Now this year,
underrated.
Yes, but and granted, I don't throw it as much. I haven't got into them hardcore on straight black this year.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I don't know, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You think they just get used to the same color? Everyone was throwing black this year, so next year it's more of a green blue highlight. Maybe the next year smoke purple. That kind of thing.
Hold on 1 second. It's Mom.
Well,
hello.
Hi, Mom.
We're on live. I just want to make sure you're okay. Where are you at?
That's very sweet.
Indiana. Okay. All right. I was just making sure you made it back all right, or getting there. All right. Make sure you don't wreck that big GMC, whatever you got, that van. So they got a bet. Never mind. We'll talk about it. All right.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you.
Bye, Mom.
I'm on live.
Jeez, Mom.
All right. See you. So they come to visit me, man. And they got this GMC van, like 1998 GMC van. Econo Lodge. I don't know what it is, dude. They got a bed in the back.
Yeah.
Like it's legit. But anyways.
Hey, a lot of people are asking if the -1s are up on the site. No. So I'm going to release them after I reach out to all the people that pre-ordered them on the Patreon. I told everybody they wouldn't be cheap. I had to buy the baits. I had to get the baits shipped to me. I had to ship them to TK, and then he had to ship them back, and the cost of the paint from TK's. But this is truly, for me, the finest collection of all the colors that, are in my arsenal, but not like that. I've hand painted a few and doctored up a few stock colors, but this is the full-blown version of the double stamp. These are American made, run true. You can burn them, and right now, if you're not burning a -1, you're missing out. I can just tell you
if you're
that.
burning a -1, you're on the worst body of water possible to be fishing this time of year. So listen, Sure Thing View goes Gajo Shad versus X-Zone. So to set the record straight, guys, because I know there's a lot of people are always asking me about this. So Gajo and X-Zone were in business together as X-Zone at the time. They parted ways, and Will had all the molds and everything and decided to change the name and keep producing baits while X-Zone was out of business for a year or two. And then X-Zone decided to come back. So it's pick your side. I just like Will. I think he's a great dude. And he's got great baits, and he makes some pretty cool colors. And so, whatever side you choose, I don't know if that's the right wording, but they both work well. I'm just affiliated with that with Gajo.
Right. I'm going to say this, man. Let me weigh in, man. Let me weigh in. I don't know that there's a better human being on the planet, and so I'd rather give my money to a man that is just good through and through. He's funny. He loves the game of fishing. He guides. When I call him, he picks up my call. He always has time for me, and he's just as solid as they come. He does whatever he can to help people out that need baits. I don't know that you're going to find that level of service anywhere. So he's just a super good dude, man. So Gajo gets my vote.
He's almost too good,
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Travis just talks about drop shot and Gajo baits for smallies, but if you haven't drop shotted it for largemouth, you're missing out. I'll just tell you that. 4-inch for sure. They freaking eat it. They eat it. It's a sneaky little finesse bait. Throw it around Doc's pile.
So Eric, when you coming back up here, man?
Dude, man, it can't be soon enough, man.
We got the October bite coming up. It's so sad. Summer went by so fast. I have a guide trip tomorrow. It's perfect. I'm outside right now on the porch, and there's like 0 wind. So I'm super excited for tomorrow, what that's going to bring. We're going to be able to run around a lot. And
wow, how nice, man.
Yeah, so I'll be back home Sunday night for a week to talk business and work on some stuff. And then
awesome.
And then I'll be back up here guiding for the next 2 weeks after that. And then we'll be in the middle of October, dude. And it'll be time to come back up here. So
right, the Monster Bass boys are going to be up there.
I just don't want to give up the shorts yet, dude, and the flip flops, bro.
I know, man. I know. Endless summer, man. Right?
This is like perfect right now.
I know, man. It's
coming to an end, dude.
Dude, I know, man.
And
right?
It's not like this year I'm going to get a break because the sports shows are back in action. We got to go do this legendary lakes crap. Go down to Florida and catch these largemouth out of the grass with little freaking worms and stupid crankbait.
Oh no, big ass 8-inch swim baits will be thrown too, bro. Yeah. Oh, dude, I threw some big baits when I was down there with Brent Anderson, man. I was throwing the meat, bro. I was throwing rats. I was throwing giant freaking crawler baits from Japan. I was throwing freaking oh my gosh, what the hell was that bait, man? What's the really hot bait, right? The DRT Tiny Clash. Freaking lost one close to 10 on it. Day one, bro. My big epic shad, big old freaking 4-inch freaking flat side. Oh, they were chewing the big baits, bro. I was throwing the meat. Worms. What are you talking about? I did throw the Poco June bug in the shaky jig worm. They ate that too. It was just awesome.
By the
I need to
way,
do that
I'm
again.
still finishing up a few episodes with the Smallmouth Crush podcast. I have them through October, and there's some really good ones coming up for sure. But
you don't want to miss mine. I mean, Travis did invite me to be the 59th top smallmouth guy in the country. I was way down the list, but you know, being on the back of the boat and constantly catching the big fish with him, he just said, Eric, there's something to it. I need to know how you do it. So as a gag, we're going to do a 30-minute interview with me, and we'll see how it goes. I might give you some of my secrets. How do I catch him behind Travis? I don't know. It's really all him. He puts me on him, but it'll be more me interviewing him, because I think, in fairness, I need to wear the Smallmouth Crush hat and interview you. This is a surprise. I'm just hatching this idea tonight. I want to hear from the fans out there. Why haven't we interviewed Travis? So, Travis, you're going to send me the script.
Because I give up.
Going to be interviewing you.
You guys know my story already, man.
No. I'm going to interview you just like you interviewed all of them, and you're going to post it on your own channel. You're going to be the last episode. AI, come on, talk to me. I think that's funny.
I had that idea earlier, and he just.
Well, I think Dave Mercer was the last one that we had planned.
I know you wanted to do Dave last, but I remember suggesting that we do Travis. Yeah, but
we have me and AI. Let me and AI double interview you. AI, I'll let him take the lead. I'm gonna pop in with crazy questions occasionally.
Sean Brandon was on one already.
Huh?
Yeah, Brandon was on one.
Yeah.
He was like the easiest guy to get a hold of out of all of them.
The only ones I have not, the only two guys I need to get on are Chris and Corey, and I've not been able to get them to commit yet. So
I don't think they're going to.
Corey wanted to. We were just when we were trying to interview him, was like
we'll get Corey
before the first elite or something. Yeah.
That would be pretty legendary, honestly, man.
Well, they need to be on it. They're the top smallmouth anglers in the country.
I mean, the question is do they need you?
No. But
at some point, I mean, right? That would be awesome if you can get them, man. Holy crap.
We're trying.
I mean, you
once I get back home.
You know what? It might be interesting. And honestly, when things slow down, I don't know what they do in the winter, but when the ice starts happening, what else are they going to do 7 days a week? I mean, guide for perch.
Yeah, we'll try to get some, but listen, there's another 6 or 7 I need to get on yet. Art Ferguson, I'm trying to peg him down. I can think of
Gussie was on. Gussie was on. Gussie was awesome, man. We talked about Bagley Crankcase. Yeah, Gussie was awesome. Gussie came on the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Well, awesome, man. Good night tonight, man.
Yeah.
JP was in a mood.
Dude, JP got mad, dude.
What happened?
He understands the lake. Like, he realized how much he needs to learn yet.
Yeah.
Not that he's not a bad fisherman. He's a great fisherman. It hit him that there's a ton of shit. You can't rely on one spot out here or one area or one zone.
No.
And
they move too much.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, how many places did you go where you've seen and caught big, giant smallmouth, and you're like, they're gone?
Every day.
They're gone.
Every day.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, how do you deal with a body of water that's got 700 miles of shoreline or whatever?
You have 80 spots to go check that day.
That's what I'm saying, and you could only check so many in a day. So I'm wondering if you don't have 80 big boulders and rock piles to check because you grew up there and you fished it for years and years and years. Is there a trick to the wind? Do you have to play the wind on that lake? So you might have plan A, but plan B is if the wind blows this way.
Oh, sure, Eric, going into this open, I felt confident regardless of the wind, I would have places to go. And there's so many spots out here that I have that there's places like a
But
year
how do you
ago,
narrow it down? Like, I mean, you've got so many spots.
you have to
spent
pick
so
the
much
area
out
that's
there.
going to give you. Man, I don't know. See, I messed up by not. If I could take this whole tournament back on day one,
Yeah. What would you
I
do?
would have went where Corey finished on the third day.
But honestly, you had the bites to be in the top 10. So
True.
your game plan was fine.
No,
You're just executing.
no, I winged it, dude. If you would have
Okay.
told me 2 days prior, is this where you're going to get your bites to maybe make a top 10? I'd been like, no.
No way. Okay.
So
Fair enough.
it was
But that's just
more of
your
a,
things playing out.
yeah, it didn't go as planned. It did not go as
Okay.
planned.
I mean, it sometimes it doesn't, man.
No, but damn it, dude. I just want one day to be able to sit back and eat a sandwich or whatever I eat at 10
noon.
o'clock. At 10 o'clock and chill.
Yeah, order a pizza. Like go
I
to the
don't wanna
ramp and go,
be
I got
10 minutes
I got
before I have to go
27.
in and land a 5.5 pounder to make my 5th fish.
Yeah, but how many people have that day in their lifetime of tournament fishing, man? Only a handful, truthfully.
Tomorrow, I'm going to go bust up 26, 27 pounds. I promise you.
I know. Maybe well, because
I'm not even
maybe
fishing.
it's no pressure.
I'm just going to tell them where to cast, and they're going to bust up 27 pounds.
I don't know, man.
I mean, there was 3 guys. The top 3 guys the last day all had 27 pounds, if I remember right. I mean, they probably all 3 of them had to have been thinking like, "This is my day. I finally did it."
Sure.
They get in there.
Yeah, right. They didn't.
Everybody else
It's
got
win.
27 pounds.
It's getting crazy.
That damn Johnson. Corey.
Dude, I love it. Like, if I
course.
win one, they better be there. You know what I mean?
That's what you
I hope
want.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn right.
It's like
You
those
wanna beat
guys
the
that are
best.
in the Lucky Go Fishing. The first time they win, they're like, "That Travis better been in that damn Lucky Go Fishing tournament. I want to beat him." They're tired of you taking all their online money. They're ready to whoop on you, man.
Yeah, I didn't get to fish the one last week. I almost entered it. I'm like, well, fuck, the open starts. I'm not going to jump in the online. I'm not going to be measuring fish at the open weigh. I wanted to.
Did they have any reports on up there? I mean, they might not have it out yet, but like, was there a good fish survival rate at that tournament? You know, I'm sure there's a lot of fizzing, a lot of new guys to that.
I'm sure. Yeah, Barb was there at the release boat, fizz and everything.
I mean, what's interesting is
I'll tell you
John
what, guys.
Henning just like listen to this. John Henning just said, he goes, you would not believe the amount of waypoints Corey has organized by season. I saw it. He explained it. Crazy networking with Chris and Dad. So you're fishing against 3.
That's fine. I'm not worried about
And that's the power of a true team. Like the most iconic teams that I know about in bass fishing history are Jeff Coble and I think it's David Wright. Jamie Newton, not if you're listening still, correct me if I'm wrong, but those 2 guys shared all their money, just like the Johnstons.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter who wins, but it's 100% share, no ego involved. And so now you got 2 boats on the water. And if Dad's still fishing, you know, and there's no in the opens.
My ultimate goal is to
right. So how do you compete with that?
I'm going to tell you, Eric.
It seems to me like if a rising boat floats all you know, rising tide.
I'm going to tell you how we compete with that.
You guys have 4 anglers.
In my mind,
not that you would pool your money, but you
Can
had
they do
a good crew.
Eric,
I know.
JP, my goal is to make JP the next Smallmouth Crush version of me.
Okay.
Because he has it in him. He just needs to learn a few things about this lake. And I think once he gets that, and I can start telling him areas to focus on and go to and practice and help cover water. For me, all it is covering spots. I need to.
But why not put 4 boats in that mix and see what happens?
Well,
like wouldn't it be cool
communication has to flow both ways.
Guys, what would happen if all 4 of your teammates were in the top 20?
I'm talking about team. I'm talking about events here all the time.
Okay.
And I think JP can be up here all the time doing that.
I got you because he lives close enough.
Yeah. And I think if I can share with JP everything I know, because that's how it's going to have to be. This is how this this is what I envision, because I don't have anyone I work with up here like that's solid.
Yeah.
Like I had Matt, my buddy Matt Stasiak. When he came up here and fished, we shared everything and we knew exactly what to do. And a lot of times we were fishing the same waters together because we were able to get on big groups of fish. Now, Matt doesn't fish as much anymore.
Gotcha.
JP,
how come?
Just different situations, you know what I mean?
Okay. Gotcha.
JP definitely has the drive and wants to do this. So if I can get him, if I can share with him everything I know, so he gets the lake to my level, give him every boulder I have, every stretch that is productive. And then I say, and then he can find new stuff when he's up here and we can really dial it in together. I think we'll be able to dominate and do well here. You know,
are you going to split the winnings?
No.
I mean, that's the only way to ensure 100% transparency and collaboration.
No,
to say,
the winnings, Eric, it's if we're at the bigger levels, it makes sense. If you're fishing the ABA, you know, it doesn't.
Yeah, I got you.
It doesn't.
Makes sense.
But that's my goal. I think I can really get JP dialed in, and then he can start seeing and know what I fish, and then expand off of that. And then when we really have to, we can. It's for me. I can't in the open. I was not able to check half the shit that I have. There wasn't enough time. The weather wasn't consistent, so I had no. I was left. That's why I gave him some spots and circled on the map and said, "Help me find some fish here."
Yeah,
I mean that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I just thought your 4 teammates would be doing that if you know that much about that.
If they were here all the time, it would be, Tom doesn't have the opportunity to fish up here every weekend.
Sure.
Gary lives in Wisconsin. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's different.
How many times has he fished the lake?
Who's that?
Gary.
He came up here a week before the tournament.
He'd never been there before?
No.
How do you fucking top 10 it?
That's the story. Thing. A different set of eyes on this body of water also helps.
Yeah.
Big time.
I mean, do you think it helped him that he didn't have like 80 spots to go to like you do? And he's not trying to guess.
He probably doesn't even know this, but he literally fished a community hole that Chris Johnston won 2 years ago. And after Chris
why
won,
not go check that?
I do. I fish it daily during guide trips. Where he won is a place I fish probably 3 times a week.
Okay.
So, but I
mean, there were 2 boats there sharing that same water that had like 54 pounds of fish, something crazy.
I hear you.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're community spots for a reason. Sometimes big fish can get in there, and it's up to you to figure out.
And what gets in my head is once, like when Chris won there, I would see
you just felt like it was over.
I would see 5 or 6 boats a day on that stuff.
Yeah, but can everybody control the drift like you're supposed to? Does
saying,
everybody have the electronics?
There's bait being dropped on those fish, and I kind of lost interest in it.
Okay.
That's happened to 2 or 3 or 4 of these spots. Now, I don't know if guys could pinpoint exactly where Chris Johnson was fishing on the last day. I hope they don't.
Sure. You're talking about like the spot on the spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here, let me tell you the quick story, and I'm not trying to bash anyone, and I have it on video, but I'm not going to. The guy's probably a cool dude. So the spot Chris Johnson was fishing on the last day, I was there 2 days before the tournament, and I found a wad of fish. Some guy pulls up 100 yards away, and he's fishing this area. And all I did was sat there and stared at the guy because I wanted to be like, and he kept looking over his shoulder at me. And first of all, it was an obvious spot. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this is an obvious spot that you decide to fish right in front of me. I'm going to stare at you until you feel very uncomfortable and leave. While I was doing that, another boat came in and started idling. He was idling about 100 yards from me, but he stayed there for 20 minutes. Now I'm looking down on my graph and I'm seeing a wad of fish. So I'm thinking to myself, if I stay right here, this Joe Blow isn't going to come over here and find these fish. And I still got this other chode right over here that I'm staring down constantly. And I'm like, I got nothing to do today. It's a nice day out. I'm going to stay on these fish and make sure nobody comes in here. So this guy leaves and he comes and I'm still on these fish. And finally that guy keeps looking over his shoulder and he takes off. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, take that. I just caught fucking 3 5s off that spot before you even got there, buddy. You know, honestly, that's what happened. And so dude comes back again 25 minutes later. This time he's 50 yards from me and he gets on his phone. Now, whether he's making a call or he just wanted to look cool, I don't know, because it's hard to make a call in Canada. At least for me it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And I even said on camera, I'm like, this guy ain't even on the phone. He's 50 yards from me. Anyways, I think the guy's nice because JP knows him. And we talked to the guy, told the story to JP exactly how I told JP what happened that night. Because I go, JP, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. And then the next day he sees this guy at the ramp. It turns out JP knows him. And the guy and JP asked him, did you see a blue nitro out there? How'd that conversation go? Anyways. So this guy pulls up next to me. He shuts the motor off and he goes, hey, do you mind if I practice right there? I go, that's weird. I go, why would you want me to see you catch fish? And why would I want you to see me catch fish? I go, the fish are here, dude. What else you want me to tell you? I yell across the lake to him. I even told him, I go, the fish are here. What do you want me to do? No, you should. What he should have done is said nothing and wait till I'm fucking gone and then come back.
Yeah.
First, that guy doesn't know how to fish a tournament. Practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. He doesn't know how to practice properly. What if I would have said, yeah, come on in here? Like, and he jacks on a fish. I just saw you catch a fish, bro. Like, that got me so worked up. So I told JP the story. I go, you wouldn't believe this boat that came up to me and asked if he could practice next to me. I'm sitting on the water fish. This is exactly where Chris Johnson was, by the way, in that tournament.
Okay.
And so JP sees him at the launch and he goes, yeah, the guy's like, I asked the guy if I could fish next to him. He told me I was weird. You had to be there, I guess.
Oh, that's a good one. That's crazy.
Oh,
Funny,
my
man.
God.
That's kind of weird.
But I got it on tape. I'm not going to blast the guy because he seems like a legit dude. Like, he just made a mistake in practice. You don't do that.
Yeah, he was just trying to be respectful to the smallmouth.
Yes, he was. He was. Come back when I'm gone and do your thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, JP, I just wanted to see if the fish were there still. And the guy told me they were. You was like supposed to at that point.
Man, that is funny, dude. That made me laugh.
Maybe I'll show it on a live here one day.
Okay, that'd be good.
It wasn't. I did.
You're not flaming him. No, you're not flaming him.
I'm not trying to be a dick to the guy. I'm just trying to help him for future.
Right.
Hey, look, he actually was respectful.
He was
for asking that, but I mean, truthfully, that is a practice mistake. Just keep running by until you're gone. If you stay there all day, then you know it's a really good spot.
Let's say I was just there. Oh no! This is what he asked me. He goes, "Are you fishing the tournament?"
Oh,
and I go, "No, I'm practicing for one." And that's when he goes, "Do you mind if I practice here too?"
Yeah.
And that's when I go, "That's weird."
Oh man,
that's a good one, man.
You had to be.
I like it.
It's all good. And I don't know if he went, and I don't know. I never went back to that spot.
You really never went back. Caught 3 5s.
Oh, I caught more than 3 5s. I caught 3 5s off the other spot. I watched that guy fish and stared him down.
No, what I'm saying is during the
spot I was
never
on,
went back. Yeah,
had hundreds of big smallmouth.
And you never went back during the tournament?
Well, Eric, I went back 2 days later, and the spot was dead.
That's crazy.
That's so weird.
There wasn't
That's so
fish around.
That blows me away, man. That's what makes smallmouth fishing really.
That
weird.
was on Tuesday. Monday is when I found them. Tuesday is when I went back. Wednesday it blew. Thursday was a tournament, and I had a decision to make. Do I go out there?
Sure. Could they have just moved around the corner?
I went nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, which way to go? I mean, could they be 100 yards that way, or are they 1,000 yards that way?
Right.
You just don't know. Like, are they following some break line? Is it an underwater point and they just moved off the point into deeper water, or did they move up because it was blowing its ass off in the shallow water to feed? What did they?
No,
do?
Eric. It was very calm when I caught them there that day.
Wow.
And it was very calm when they were gone.
Wow. I don't know, man. Maybe that hard wind that blew pushed them someplace else because, the bait, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just trying to, like, brainstorm. Like,
But they were certainly there for Corey. But I'll tell you what, Corey wasn't
it would have
there.
been really cool to, like if it was practice and you're like, I'm going to go find that group of couple hundred smallmouth.
Well,
Where
I'll tell you another secret, Eric.
Did they swim to another island? Not that you were at an island, but you know
Eric,
what I mean?
They were also a ton of sheephead and walleye mixed in with these small.
Oh,
and
that makes it tough.
No,
I've seen that picture on your graph.
Interesting. It was interesting because
it's all fascinating to me. Look,
and the only reason why I found those fish was because I was waiting for that other guy to move.
Yeah,
the guy I was staring down. I stayed in the little zone. All of a sudden, my live scope just lit the fuck up, and I didn't want to do nothing while I was staring him down.
So they moved in.
I don't know.
They were coming to you.
What I did was I dropped the camera down and then saw big smallmouth, plenty of sheephead, plenty of walleye. And I'm like, okay,
That's
now
so
everything
crazy.
I'm seeing on my graphs are smallmouth, but there's a lot of fish here for some reason.
Yeah.
It literally was a 70-yard stretch, very narrow.
Wow.
And
was it like a pinch point?
No. It was
Rocky?
nothing. Yeah, there was good rock right there.
Sure. Okay. Anyway, man, fascinating stuff to figure. You see him. There's a giant group of fish, mixed bag, and then the next day you go into the
Corey
Dead Sea.
made it look easy on that last day. I mean, when I didn't watch it all day, but when I saw him catch them, he was catching them pretty consistently.
They moved back in.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's just nuts, man. They must be roaming around somewhere in the area, man, and just move back in when the conditions are right or bait moves back in. They must be following the food because they're not there for no reason. And what the fuck does a sheephead eat, by the way?
Everything.
Not a
Same
god.
thing that the small eats?
They'll run away.
They
I'll tell you what, those sheephead too.
Do they eat gobies? Does sheephead eat gobies?
Sure. Oh
sure,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. But they don't.
Okay.
They are not as friendly underneath the boat as a smallmouth. They will start away from a boat quick.
Interesting.
Even in 20, 25, 30 feet of water.
Wow. That's crazy.
And a lot of times they'll dart away from a bait that you drop.
That's even wilder, man.
And they'll hover, and you can definitely see what they look like. You kind of know.
Right.
You're always wishful thinking, especially in the tournament.
Oh yeah, like
when
we
you
were that day that we saw that giant group of sheep's head, and we're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they were smallmouth, it was like a 30-pound bag coming aboard.
Damn.
I saw it light up, and I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, no, they're just freaking suspended.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Cool stuff, man. Great live tonight. I love the stories.
Good show. What's the plan for next week, Travis? I believe it's Patreon, correct?
Ah, fuck it. Might as well be. So Monday night next week will be a Patreon. What the hell are we gonna talk about? I think we're gonna get. I got a buddy I want to try to get on. See if he give up some juice. I'm dying. I haven't asked him yet. I teased him about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I'd like to get him on. So yeah, next week Monday will be a Patreon, and then we got Joe Baglog the week after, so that'll be very cool.
Very cool.
Fishing expert. He's gonna have a lot of good stories to tell. And then once I get back settled in and try to get things organized, I think I did a good job this year, but I'm going to try to do even better job moving forward. We're going to try to get a more regular schedule, guests lined up, things like that. I can't wait for that mega auction, though. I'll tell you that.
Drinking for that one. Damn.
All right, guys.
Oh yeah, man. That'll be a marathon. I'll have plenty to sell that night.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
11 o'clock. I got to meet the guy at 6.
All right, do it, man.
Alrighty.
Do it. Peace on out, everybody. Thanks. Great show, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to sign up for the Patreon. If you're not a Patreon member already, it's $10. Just help support the channel. You can sign up. Look for the description here in the link below. And there it is, patreon.com/smallmouthcrush. And we'll have a good show regardless next week. All right.
And until next time,
See you on the water.